Welcome, first wave of players, to the Sea Survival Challenge. Game Reminder 1. Cherish your life and take this game seriously. Each player has only one life. Game Reminder 2. The beginner's protection period lasts for 7 days. Please upgrade your raft as much as possible during this time. Game Reminder 3. Random treasure chests will appear on the sea daily from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Avoid entering the water at night. It's dangerous. Staring at the endless ocean all around her, with nothing but a flimsy 2x2-meter raft beneath her feet, Faye Yardley knelt in the center, shivering uncontrollably. Didn't someone just push me off a 1,000-foot cliff? How did I end up in a sea survival game? Sob. This is terrifying. The incessant system prompts suddenly reminded her of the male protagonist's sea survival novel she had stayed up all night reading before her hiking trip. The book featured a cannon fodder sister and a villainous older brother who had the exact same names as her and her own brother, so she couldn't help but curse them out while reading. She regretted it now as much as she had enjoyed cursing them out then. Falling off a cliff isn't a guaranteed survival, and it's the same in this survival game. One wrong move and you're dead. Faye Yardley, get a grip. Now's not the time to be scared. Figuring out how to survive is what matters. And you need to think carefully about who ambushed you, who wanted you dead. Even though she was talking to herself out loud, it was no use. She couldn't stop her limbs from trembling. She desperately wished this was a dream, but she'd never had one this advanced before. The cold, emotionless electronic voice, the virtual screen, and the strings of reminders on it all seemed to be mocking her for overestimating herself. Calm down, calm down. Anyone who can transmigrate into a book and survive falling off a cliff must be one of the chosen ones. Faye Yardley, don't you dare bring shame upon the countless other transmigrators. Sob. Still, she couldn't suppress her fear. I don't want to be the chosen one. Does anyone want to take my spot? Ha, it's just a game. As if anyone can't play. Sob, sob, sob. I can't. Faye Yardley felt like she was about to develop a split personality. With tears streaming down her face, she forced herself to open her game inventory with a thought. It had 10 empty slots with an item in only one of them. Retrieve. Instantly, a fishing rod appeared in front of Faye Yardley. What time is it? The moment she thought it, a large time display appeared on the virtual screen before her. See Survival Calendar Year 1. June 1st, 5:50 and 27 seconds a.m. It was the very beginning of the game from the book. Faye Yardley clutched the fishing rod as if it were a lifeline. Calm down, calm down. Calm down, damn it. The random treasure chests will appear in 10 minutes. Faye Yardley, you can do this. You can definitely do this. You have to. After calming down a little, Faye said, Open status panel. Swish. The screen's display changed. Name, Faye Yardley. Gender, female. Age, 19. This doesn't seem to be your real age. Talent, none. Constitution, 5. Are you sure you're an adult? Strength, 3. What can you even lift? Agility, 7. You're serious about escaping, aren't you? Spirit, 7. Quite the spitfire, aren't you? Luck, 9. My God. Your luck surpasses 99.98% of all people. Charm, 8. You're the one who shines in a crowd. Skills, none. Hunger level, 88. Max 100. If this hits 0, you starve. Seeing the age, Faye Yardley realized she must have transmigrated into a new body. It was completely absurd. But then again, since something as unscientific as transmigrating into a book had already happened, soul transmigration seemed almost normal by comparison. Besides, on this world of Aquaria she had crossed into, the entire planet's population was being forced into this sea survival game. What was the point of talking about science? This was a world of mysticism and fantasy, a game world. Once the initial fear and panic subsided, Faye Yardley's reason returned. Anyway, as long as I don't do anything stupid during the protection period, I won't die. So I need to upgrade my raft as much as possible and expand my living space. As for riding the coattails of the novel's male protagonist, you've got to be kidding me. My current brother is the main villain, and I'm just a small fry character destined to be a stepping stone for one of the heroines. Otherwise, why would a civilized person like her have been cursing up a storm? Whatever. To stop my villainous brother from fighting the protagonist's group just to avenge me, I'll do my best to stay alive. And as for the heroine who uses me as a stepping stone, sorry, but if you dare try to climb over me in this life, I'll break your damn legs and send you to your grave first. After all, watching the villainous brother's tragic quest for revenge had made her feel incredibly indignant on his behalf, especially since she also had a brother in real life who doted on her completely. But there were so many people in the world, and the game was divided into regions, sectors of 1 million people each, which were then grouped into larger regions based on country. Competition between countries existed from the very beginning, but it was mostly covert. After all, survival was the eternal theme here. Faye Yardley pounded on her trembling legs, trying to push aside all the chaotic thoughts in her head. Thinking about them did, however, seem to make her less afraid. But the treasure chests were about to spawn. With my luck stat so high, I should have no problem fishing up a chest to sustain myself, right? If worst comes to worst, I could just catch some fish, crabs, or lobsters. I could even eat sashimi. Oh right, the regions were divided by large grid squares in the game. She wondered if she'd have to wait for a major server merge to meet her brother, Ethan Yardley. When the game first descended upon Aquaria, massive 100 by 100 grid-like pillars of light had appeared. Anyone caught within the same grid was guaranteed to be in the same starting region. Otherwise, even if two people were in the same house, they could be separated into different regions if they were caught by different grids. These different grids were then merged to form a million-person sector, though nobody knew exactly how that process worked. After all, she didn't have time to absorb the original owner's memories, so she had no idea where Ethan Yardley was when the game began. Her memories of the book were also a jumble. She forgot most of it right after reading it. Recall it now? Recall what? Her mind was a complete blank. Taking yet another deep breath, Faye Yardley casually tossed the fishing line into the sea. Whether she caught anything was all up to fate. While waiting for the treasure chests, Faye Yardley finally remembered she could check the regional chat channel. Everyone used their real names, so even though she might run into people with the same name, there was still a chance she could find who she was looking for. As she thought of the regional channel, constantly scrolling text appeared on the virtual screen. Leo Sloan. Help! Somebody save me! I just fell into the sea and tried to catch a fish with my bare hands, but a big crab clamped onto my calf. It won't stop bleeding. Am I going to bleed to death? David Hughes. Who the fuck is playing this joke on me? Get me out of here right now, or you'll all be sorry. Haley Miles. Everyone, hurry up and get your fishing rods from your backpacks. It's 6 o'clock. Leo Sloan, you should try to fish for a treasure chest. Maybe you can get something to stop the bleeding. Although the chat channel was constantly scrolling, Faye Yardley's gaze was fixed on one name, Haley Miles. The screen scrolled by quickly, and Haley Miles didn't post again, so her name was soon pushed out of view by other messages. Wade Warren. I just finished reading all the game prompts. We're the first wave, all between 18 and 50 years old. Those under 18 and over 50 are the second and final wave. If you have family members in those age groups, we need to upgrade our rafts and strengthen ourselves now, following the game's instructions. That's the only way we'll be ready for our families when they arrive. Kyle Lewis. Mommy. Mommy? Where are you? I don't want to play games anymore. Please take me home. Kyle Lewis. Mommy. Mommy? Where are you? I don't want to play games anymore. Please take me home. Miles Hughes. Kyle Lewis, will you give it a rest? You're a grown man. Stop crying for your mommy. Instead of wasting time on that, you should be getting your fishing rod out of your backpack. Kyle Lewis. Mommy. Mommy? Where are you? I don't want to play games anymore. Please take me home. Wade Warren. It's almost 6 o'clock. Time for the treasure chests to respawn. Everyone, get ready. The sun is up, so the temperature is only going to rise. We should use this cool time to pull in a few chests and catch some fish. People were constantly talking in the regional channel. Some offered helpful reminders, while others were crying, wailing, and cursing. What a strange collection of freaks and weirdos. Haley Miles, huh? The grudge from the book could be set aside for now. Faye Yardley had gotten over her initial fear and was gradually calming down. Just as it turned 6 o'clock, she saw a wooden treasure chest bobbing on the waves, drifting toward her small raft. She picked up her fishing rod to cast it, only to find it felt like she had already hooked something. Her spirits surged. She pulled hard on the rod, and just as Faye Yardley felt her strength giving out, a large fish landed on the raft with a slap. You really can catch fish with an empty hook. The moment Faye Yardley's hand touched the fish, a system prompt appeared. Mackerel discovered. Can be dismantled. Dismantle? Of course I'll dismantle it, she thought. Otherwise I'd have to tear it apart with my bare hands. After she selected yes, a white light flashed, and a new prompt appeared. Obtained clean, uncontaminated fish meat ×3. Uncontaminated fish meat? So if I had tried to butcher it myself, I might have ended up with contaminated meat? And if I ate contaminated fish, I'd probably become contaminated myself. Why wasn't there any explanation for this in the novel? Could it be that some of the rules changed because I transmigrated into the book? Or maybe it was mentioned, and I just don't remember? There was no time to dwell on it. A treasure chest was waiting. Faye Yardley immediately cast her fishing line toward it. She reeled it in and excitedly hauled the wooden treasure chest onto her raft. Faye Yardley rubbed her hands together, muttering a little chant. O spirits of heaven and earth, may the Supreme Lord grant my wish. The chest opened to reveal 3 orbs of light. Faye Yardley reached for one of the orbs, and a system prompt appeared. Obtained wood ×10. The other 2 orbs yielded, obtained mineral water ×2, delicious little bread ×5, and obtained wood ×5, iron block ×1. Great! Food, water, and materials. What a perfect start. System. What do I need to upgrade the raft? The void screen immediately displayed the requirements. Raft upgrade, level 1. Requires wood ×20, 15/20. Faye Yardley was instantly filled with motivation. Just 5 more pieces of wood and I can upgrade the raft. It seems upgrading the raft during the safe period is pretty easy after all. She stored all the items in her backpack. As for the wooden treasure chest, she kept it beside her. She could lean against it when she got tired, and it gave her a small sense of security. She took out a bottle of mineral water and drank about a third of it, calming the waves of anxiety and fear that kept surfacing. She cast her fishing rod out again. Whatever I can catch is a resource, she thought. From then on, Faye Yardley focused solely on fishing and scanning the nearby water for floating treasure chests. She had no time to look at the regional channel at all. Once the chests stop spawning, there'll be plenty of time to chat and trade for supplies. I know what the priority is right now. When she felt a tug on her line, Faye Yardley's eyes lit up, and she began to pull with all her might. Whatever was on the line was even heavier than the large fish. This is killing me, she thought, lying flat on the raft, terrified she'd be pulled into the sea. Whoa, what kind of chest is this? Is it bronze or iron? Whatever it was, Faye Yardley was so excited she couldn't stop grinning from ear to ear. You have obtained 1 iron treasure box. Open it? No question. Of course I'll open it. Before opening it, however, Faye Yardley recited her little spell. Heaven protect me, heaven protect me. Open. She opened the iron treasure box. It didn't contain more items than the wooden treasure chest. There were still only 3 orbs of light. She picked up an orb and received a notification. Obtained backpack expansion ×10 diagrams ×1. This is great, but it's just a diagram. I still have to gather the materials myself. The diagram showed that expanding the backpack required cloth ×2 and space stone ×1. Great. I don't have either of those things. Now this diagram is just taking up a backpack slot. Maybe I can put the smaller items into the chest and then store the chest in my backpack. That should save a lot of space. She quickly grabbed the other 2 orbs, obtaining wood times 35 and high-level fish spear manufacturing diagram times 1. Huh? I have enough wood. System. Quick. Upgrade the raft. Upgrade to level 1 raft? Wood 50/20ths. Yes, yes, yes. A white light flashed. The raft was now a 2x5 platform, 10 square meters. It had gotten much longer, but its width was still worryingly narrow. The iron treasure box was quite heavy, so Faye Yardley decided it would work well as a stool or a backrest on the raft. She put the diagrams, mineral water, and delicious little breads into the wooden chest. That way, it would only take up a single slot when she stored it in her backpack. After that, she became a relentless robot, doing nothing but fishing for fish and chests, constantly casting and reeling in her line. Not every cast was successful. Sometimes, she just reeled in ocean junk. Sometimes, she'd hook 2 chests in a row and wouldn't even have time to open them right away. It was a happy problem to have, one that filled her with so much motivation that she temporarily forgot her fear of the open sea. Treasure chests, fish, shrimp, crabs, they're all mine. After working hard for 12 hours, from morning until night, Faye Yardley was utterly exhausted. Besides taking breaks to eat a delicious little bread and drink mineral water to replenish her stamina, she had been completely focused on fishing. The sun was setting, and darkness would soon fall upon the sea. Lying on her back as a gentle breeze brushed her face, Faye whispered, "First, let's take stock of today's haul." In total, she had fished up 8 treasure chests, 2 of which were iron treasure boxes. She had already opened 5, leaving 3 unopened. Faye hadn't wasted the empty chests either. She dismantled all of them. A single wooden treasure chest could be dismantled into 3 units of wood. That meant as long as she fished up about 7 wooden treasure chests, she could upgrade her raft to level 2 even if the chests themselves didn't contain a single piece of wood. Her hunger level was still at 80, so she was fine not eating for now. A tally of her open chests revealed mineral water X6, steamed buns X2, delicious cola X1, delicious little bread X1, instant noodles X5, wood X62, iron blocks X15, cloth X4, cotton X5, alfalfa seeds X3, vegetable seeds X2, basic iron axe blueprint X1. It had to be said, the haul from just 5 chests was quite impressive. She rolled over, quickly rinsed her hands in the ocean, and then Faye began to chant, "God, please bless me, your faithful follower. May all my wishes come true. May I get whatever I ask for. A wooden treasure chest has been discovered. Open it. Open, open, open." This time there were only 2 orbs of light inside. Faye frowned slightly. Did my luck get worse after washing my hands in the seawater? After she picked up the orbs of light, the system prompted, "You have obtained ordinary fishing rod X1. You have obtained wooden fence blueprint X1. A wooden fence. Ha ha ha." Faye really felt like kowtowing to all the gods. This was something she desperately needed. She had been so afraid of rolling off the 2-meter-wide raft in her sleep. With a fence, her safety would be greatly increased. There was still 1 wooden treasure chest and 1 iron treasure box left. No question about it, when your luck is running high, you open them immediately. No need to repeat the spell. What if she messed it up this time? You have obtained mineral water X5, egg pancake X1. You have obtained basic wooden house blueprint X1, basic wooden bed blueprint X1. Wooden house blueprint. Requires raft level to be level 3 or higher. Materials required: wood X62/150, stones X0/50, iron blocks X15/10. No way. A tycoon like me can't even afford a basic wooden house? Fine, fine, fine. Let's see who in this region could possibly be richer than me. System. Open the regional chat channel. Quick. Faye Yardley stared at the regional chat channel scrolling rapidly on the virtual screen before her. Focusing her eyes, she noticed that posts with more likes were pinned to the top, which would make searching a little easier. In a regional channel with 1 million people, even with only a small portion of them talking, the messages still flew by at a dizzying speed. Messages vanished in the blink of an eye. Trying to scroll up to read past messages? Ah, what a naive thought. The earlier messages had already been pushed up and away, impossible to scroll back to. She looked at the messages at the top first. Leo Sloan. Has anyone found a bandage or any medicine? I'll trade everything I've found so far. You can even have the treasure chests I fish up. Please. I'm begging for a bandage or some kind of styptic. Kyle Lewis. Mommy. Mommy? Where are you? Kyle upgraded the raft. Did you see? Huh? 2 familiar names have been liked and pinned to the top by so many people. Looks like there are a lot of kind-hearted people out there. Alice Ray. I've been fishing all day and only got 2 wooden chests. Not a single bottle of water inside. I'm dying of thirst. Can someone give me a bottle of water? I can sing, I can dance too. Bonnie Callahan. It really takes all kinds. Everyone's short on food and water right now. Who wants to see someone sing and dance? Anyone want to trade for wood? I can trade the eggs I got and some crab meat I fished up. Haley Miles. Everyone, if you don't have enough wood, you can dismantle the chests. 1 wooden chest can be dismantled for wood x3, and an iron treasure box can be dismantled for iron blocks x2. They're useful resources, so don't just throw them away. Phoebe Pierce. Haley is so beautiful and kind-hearted. It's a shame I didn't know this before. I threw mine into the sea because I thought they were taking up space. Yeah. Feeling the pain +1. Feeling the pain +1 million. Feeling the pain plus my social security number. Haley Miles's message was quickly liked and pinned to the very top. Watching this, Faye suddenly got furious and slapped her own forehead. Faye Yardley, you're so stupid. How could you forget to steal Haley Miles's thunder and farm some reputation for yourself? Faye Yardley. Trading mineral water and instant noodles for wood, stones, and iron blocks. Also, if my brother sees this, remember to add me as a friend. Faye spammed this advertisement 3 times in a row, using up all her regional chat messages for the day. She was confident someone would see her ad. Now, all she had to do was sit and wait for people to message her with trade offers. System, what resources do I need to upgrade the raft to level 3? Raft upgrade to level 3 would x62/150. Insufficient materials. Unable to upgrade. Upgrading the raft only required wood. It seemed the early stages of the game were still simple. It only took 20 wood to upgrade to level 2. But upgrading to level 3 required 150 wood. How much would it take to get to level 4? Looking at the regional channel, she saw that the vast majority of people had only found 4 to 5 wooden chests all day. The unluckier ones only got 1 or 2. And this was still the grace period. Once it was over, Faye figured that the people getting only 1 or 2 chests might not even be able to fish up a single one all day. They'd probably have to jump into the ocean and catch fish with their bare hands just to get ingredients. Sure enough, just as she was looking at the raft upgrade information, she heard a continuous ding-ding-ding of notifications in the background. Just as she was about to look away from the regional channel, she suddenly spotted a message. Zachary Pierce. Does anyone have a spare fishing rod to trade for materials? Seeing that his message was about to be scrolled off the screen, Faye immediately clicked on his name and sent a friend request. Sure enough, his message vanished from the regional channel a moment later. Faye let out a laugh. She remembered this name being mentioned in the novel. He was a character on par with the male protagonist. And unlike the novel's male lead, Zachary Pierce was supposed to be one of the officials. The game had just started. Even if the officials had already reacted, it wouldn't be an easy task for them to contact each other and organize. Her friend request hadn't been accepted yet, but Faye went ahead and sent a message first. She took a photo of the ordinary fishing rod next to the system-issued one and sent it over. The meaning was clear. I have what you need. Let's see what you can offer. The other party quickly accepted her friend request and sent a message. What do you want to trade for the fishing rod? Faye was very direct in her reply. I want wood, stones, and iron blocks, or whatever you think is a fair trade. Zachary Pierce. I only have 50 wood and 4 stones. Deal? Faye didn't waste any words. The system hadn't enabled a trading function yet, so they could only trade based on trust. She directly sent the ordinary fishing rod she'd gotten using the red envelope function in the friend chat. On the other side, Zachary Pierce fell silent as he looked at the red envelope notification. After receiving the fish rod, Zachary Pierce quickly packed the items he had just mentioned into a red envelope and sent it to her. At the same time, he couldn't help but add a reminder, "Don't trust others so easily." Faye Yardley couldn't help but laugh at his message. He can't possibly think I'm some naive girl, can he? If I hadn't read the book and known he was an upright person, I wouldn't have done something so reckless. I was just willing to bet a fish spear on the book's information being correct. As expected, he's the real good guy. Thanks for the reminder. I know. I only sent it first because it was you. Zachary Pierce frowned slightly. He didn't recognize her name at all. You know me? Faye Yardley didn't keep him in suspense. My brother is Ethan Yardley. I've heard him mention you a few times. She didn't pay Zachary Pierce any more mind after that. She still had a pile of messages to get through. When did the trading system appear? I can't seem to remember, but it definitely shows up later on. Probably right after the novice period ends. Instant noodles and mineral water were definitely hot commodities right now. So even though people knew she wanted upgraded materials in return, there was still a huge crowd scrambling to trade with her. Of course, among the flood of messages, plenty were from people hoping to get something for nothing. She blacklisted all the freeloaders. She had no intention of ever trading with people like that. She was 38 wood short of upgrading to a level 3 raft, but she also needed to craft a wooden fence and build a wooden house. Why does it feel like my wood deficit is just getting bigger and bigger? After picking and choosing, she ended up trading away 8 bottles of mineral water for packs of instant noodles, 1 bottle of cola, and 2 steamed buns. In return, she received stones X45, wood X219, iron blocks X20, crystal X1, and a space stone X1. The haul was nothing short of generous. System, upgrade raft. Raft upgrade, level 3 wood X331/150. Upgrade conditions met. Proceed with upgrade. Yes. A flash of white light was followed by 30 seconds of clanging. As expected, the raft had not only expanded, but she could now also freely adjust its shape. A 5 by 6, 30 square meter raft. I still need to set aside 150 wood for the wooden house, which leaves me with 31 wood for the fence. Wooden fence. Consume 2 wood to obtain 1 piece of fence, 1 meter long, 0.5 meters high. To completely enclose the level 3 raft, I'll need 22 meters of fencing, which will cost 44 wood. It doesn't seem like that much more is needed, but I have to save some food and drinks for myself too. She was just 1 stone short of being able to build the wooden house. Maybe if the wooden house occupies one end of the raft, I'll need less fencing. She had used up all her channel posts for the day. Her friends list was only populated with people she had just traded with. After thinking it over, Faye Yardley clicked on Zachary Pierce's profile. Mr. Pierce, do you have any more stones? I'm 1 short. By now, the sky had completely darkened, and Faye Yardley could feel the temperature dropping. I desperately need a wooden house right now. With her current physical stats, she was afraid spending a night out in the open would get her sick, which would affect her ability to fish for treasure chests the next day. When she didn't get a reply, Faye Yardley started browsing the regional channel to see if anyone else was looking to trade. Something like iron blocks for stones. A lot of people were talking on the regional channel. It seemed that on this silent sea, where everyone was alone, watching others chat was the only thing to do. Fear was enveloping them all. Wade Warren. Everyone, look at the player count in the bottom left corner of the regional channel. We're already losing people. Has anything unusual happened to any of you? Faye Yardley looked and saw that he was right. The perfect 1 million player count was no longer whole. Though the gap didn't look large, over 300 people had already died on the first day of the novice period. She wanted to know why too. I'm so weak. Yet I'm still alive and well. How did other people die? Were they already seriously ill to begin with? Ding dong. She received a red envelope from Zachary Pierce. After opening it, she found Stone X1. Thank you, Mr. Pierce. If you need anything, just let me know. If I have it, it's yours. Zachary Pierce. Don't mention it. Ethan's sister is my sister. Faye Yardley chuckled to herself. Now was not the time for pleasantries. She immediately used her existing materials to build the wooden house. The same white light and clanging construction sounds followed, but this time they lasted for a full minute before stopping. A small 3x4 wooden house appeared before her. Even better, she could move the small wooden house anywhere she wanted on the raft via the system panel. She placed it against one end of the raft. This way, 7 meters of its perimeter, the 3-meter and 4-meter sides, wouldn't need a fence. That meant she needed exactly 15 meters of fencing, and she would even have one piece of wood left over. So nice! Stepping into the wooden house, she found it completely empty. But however bare it was, the temperature inside was noticeably warmer than outside. Just then, a ding sounded, and a system prompt appeared. Tool workbench can be unlocked. Unlock now. Yes, that sounds like a good thing. I'll unlock it first and figure it out later. A table laden with tools materialized out of thin air in a corner of the room. As expected, game worlds just don't follow logic. Walking over to the workbench, Faye Yardley took out the blueprints. High-level fish spear blueprint and basic iron axe blueprint detected. Learn blueprints. Yes. After a flash of light, Faye Yardley saw that the workbench could now craft high-level fish spears and basic iron axes. They required materials, of course, but this meant she could produce them continuously as long as she had the resources. She checked the materials for the basic iron axe. Iron block X2, wood X1. Next to the recipe was a green craft button. Faye Yardley tapped it immediately. The raw materials were consumed, and a gleaming basic iron axe appeared on the workbench. She picked it up and swung it a couple of times, only to feel her arm ache. Oh great, just great. Is the game mocking my stamina and strength? Looking closely at the iron axe, she was surprised to see it even had a durability of 70/70. She then checked the materials for the high-level fish spear. Iron block X5, crystal X1, wood X2. A red prompt to the side indicated insufficient materials. It even needs a crystal? Good thing I have one. Damn it, I'm short on wood again. I don't just need it for the fish spear. I'll need it for a wooden bed later, too. I can't really wield this iron axe myself, but I can trade it. I'm not sure about others, but Zachary Pierce will definitely need one, right? So, she naturally found his profile and poked him. Mr. Pierce, basic iron axe. Need one. He replied instantly. I do. Name your price. Faye Yardley thought for a moment before replying. I'll trade for wood, crystals, iron blocks, or blueprints for household items. Any trade has to include wood, though. It suddenly occurred to me that there should be a one-time dungeon event during the novice period, and you can form a team for it. Faye Yardley sent the iron axe over in a red envelope and added, Mr. Pierce, if a dungeon event happens in the next few days, how about you take me on your team? Zachary Pierce was surprised. Dungeons? You're saying this ocean survival game has dungeons? Faye Yardley found his reaction strange. It's pretty normal for games to have dungeons, right? If it's not a solo dungeon but one where you can team up. Could you carry me, Mr. Pierce? There was nothing she could do about it. Even if Faye Yardley considered herself lucky, her actual strength was what it was. There was no way to get a massive boost all at once. What if she ended up in a dungeon where she had to kill monsters to level up? Was she just supposed to stand at the entrance and wait to die? Others might not know, but since a supporting character from the book she remembered, one who was just as exceptional as the male lead, was already on her friends list, why wouldn't she make good use of him? Alright, I agree. As he said this, Zachary Pierce also sent over what supplies he could give. After accepting the items, Faye Yardley obtained wood X24, iron block X25, crystal X3, 4-piece bedding set blueprint X1, What a haul! I've really hit the jackpot this time. Based on the crafting cost, isn't this like trading one iron axe for 12? Not to mention, he also gave me the materials for a high-level fish spear. System, craft high-level fish spear X2 and basic iron axe X2. Soon, 2 gleaming high-level fish spears and 2 iron axes appeared on the workbench. Faye Yardley happily picked one of the spears up and gave it a few practice swings. Perfect. The weight and length are well suited for my height, and the durability is a solid 300. A weapon is better than no weapon. At least now I'm not completely defenseless. While she had the materials, she also crafted a basic wooden bed. Unfortunately, she didn't have enough materials for the 4-piece set. There was nothing to be done about it, so she put the blueprint aside for now. At least she had a bed to sleep on tonight. After checking the time and seeing it was almost 10:30 p.m., Faye Yardley didn't bother with anything else and went straight to bed. Her alarm went off right at 5:30 a.m. Faye Yardley rubbed her body, a little stiff from sleeping on the wooden planks. Stepping out of the wooden house, she noticed the air outside felt colder than yesterday. She opened the regional channel. Sure enough, it wasn't just her imagination. Damn, I'm freezing and my nose is running. This hellhole actually gets cold in the middle of the night. Same here. My head's a little dizzy. When I go to fish for treasure chests, I hope I don't get so woozy that a chest ends up fishing me out instead. Right? So hungry. Can some big shot take pity and give me something to eat? I'm a really good dancer. I'll do any dance you want. Son of a bitch. Why is there a huge shark circling my raft? It's not attacking, but it just won't leave. Come on, son. Come out. I'm so cold. I've always been sensitive to the cold. I can't function when it's freezing. The chat was active, but Faye Yardley felt a surge of panic. Sharks are already appearing during the grace period? The fact that they aren't actively attacking is probably the survival system's way of protecting new players. Although she carefully scanned her surroundings and saw no large marine creatures, she was still afraid. After a moment of thought, she posted a message in the channel as well. Faye Yardley. Everyone should try to get as many chests as possible today to upgrade their rafts and build shelters like a wooden house. We should trade materials tonight if needed. Also, does anyone have a torch or fire pit? I'm willing to trade for blueprints or the items themselves. Hey, Faye Yardley, does a shelter appear automatically after you upgrade your raft? Many others asked similar questions, but Faye Yardley had already gone silent. Giving them a reminder to upgrade their rafts and build shelters early was the most she was willing to do. The fact that she didn't use her foreknowledge to make a killing was a testament to her good upbringing. She took out her only egg-filled pancake and sat on the deck at the edge of the raft. With the wooden fence there, she wasn't afraid of falling in. She then took out her fishing rod and cast the line. It wasn't time for the treasure chests to spawn yet, but if I work a little harder, maybe I'll catch a fish? Fishing while she ate, Faye Yardley was in a reasonably good state of mind. Maybe her luck value really was just that high. She had barely cast her line, not even 2 bites into her egg-filled pancake, when she felt the hook snag on something. Seriously? This system-made fishing rod is completely broken. It can actually catch something without any bait. She took a large bite of the pancake, quickly stowed it in her backpack, and gripped the fishing rod with both hands to start reeling it in. Soon, she reeled in her first catch of the day. It was a horseshoe crab. Faye Yardley stared at the washbasin-sized horseshoe crab, once again marveling at the wonders of this game world. Horseshoe crab discovered. Can be broken down. Break down. Yes. Obtained. Horseshoe crab meat X3. Horseshoe crab shell X1. Faye Yardley took out the horseshoe crab shell. This would make a pretty good large bowl or even a small pot, she thought, which is perfect since I don't have either. The sea was quiet after that, and Faye Yardley didn't catch anything else. However, as soon as the clock struck 6, her sharp eyes spotted a wooden treasure chest floating to her front left. Time to get to work. Faye Yardley went from full of energy to completely exhausted in just one morning. She couldn't believe that by noon, she had already collected 7 wooden treasure chests, caught 2 fish, one crab, and a piece of seaweed. It's a shame I don't have a fire, she thought. Otherwise, I'd definitely be trying some grilled crab, and I could make some fish soup too. After hesitating for 2 seconds between opening the chests to eat or continuing to fish for more, she decided to keep fishing. Just 3 more chests, then I'll do a 10 pull. Just then, a system notification appeared. Dear players, a heavy downpour is approaching. Please make preparations for the rain and cold as soon as possible. To provide a better gaming experience for everyone, a one-time trial dungeon will open at 8 p.m. tonight. Cherish your life and enjoy the game. Dear players, a heavy downpour is approaching. Please make preparations for the rain and cold as soon as possible. To provide a better gaming experience for everyone, a one-time trial dungeon will open at 8 p.m. tonight. Cherish your life and enjoy the game. Dear players, a heavy downpour is approaching. Please make preparations for the rain and cold as soon as possible. To provide a better gaming experience for everyone, a one-time trial dungeon will open at 8 p.m. tonight. Cherish your life and enjoy the game. The reminder repeated 3 times, not just an audio cue, but a visual one as well. The notification was even bolded and pinned to the top of the public channel. Holy crap! Cherish your life and enjoy the game? Bullshit. If you really want to cherish your life, you should stay the hell away from this game. Asterisk sob asterisk. I just upgraded my raft to level 2, but to build a tent I need to get it to level 3 first. This is so hard. My raft is already level 3, but I don't have any shelter blueprints. Fuck, this game is impossible. What did everyone catch this morning? Anyone selling a house blueprint? I'll pay a high price. Faye Yardley watched for a moment before closing the channel. She decided to stick to her plan. Get to 10 treasure chests, then she would figure out the rest. Since the system announced rain, who knows how much longer I have before it starts pouring. I need to get back to fishing, fast. Just as Faye Yardley was struggling to pull in the treasure chest, a sudden storm hit, the rain instantly coming down in sheets. It gave her no time to react. Already soaked to the bone, there was no way Faye Yardley was going to give up the treasure chest she had on the line. Even though her vision was a blur, her grip on the fishing rod never wavered. Getting pelted by the torrential rain was miserable, but how could she let go of a chest that was practically in her hands? Faye Yardley truly put every ounce of her strength into pulling the fishing rod. Finally, with a thud, a chest slammed onto the raft, and Faye herself staggered back a couple of steps before collapsing to the floor. The rain was so heavy she couldn't see half a meter in front of her. All that filled her vision was a curtain of rain, and then more rain. She stored the fishing rod and treasure chest in her backpack. Faye Yardley figured, since I'm already as wet as I can possibly get, I might as well take this opportunity to have a bath. Returning to the wooden house stark naked, Faye Yardley finally felt like she was coming back to life. It felt like the downpour had washed her clothes clean, to say nothing of herself. She hung her dripping clothes on the foot of her wooden bed. It couldn't be helped. The house was completely empty, and there was nowhere else to put them. As for being naked? Ha! This is my own little world. Who's going to know if I don't say anything? Shaking out her wet, long hair, Faye Yardley remembered she had cloth in her backpack. She immediately took out a piece of cloth and wrapped it around her body. All right, it's my happy unboxing hour. Let's see what a super lucky person like me can get. Taking the chest from her backpack, Faye Yardley took a deep breath and chanted, "Spirits of heaven, spirits of earth, work your magic on all things. Open. Obtained. Torch blueprint times 1, mineral water times 3, instant noodles times 2, wood times 10. Yay! A great start to the unboxing. Let's keep this streak going. Wood times 20, iron block times 8, crystal times 1, copper blocks times 2, thermal underwear set times 1, bandage times 1, mineral water times 2, 5 jean bag of rice times 1, awning times 1, wood times 35, stones times 5, fireplace blueprint times 1, sprite times 2, dumplings times 8, wood times 12, hemostatic pill times 2, cotton times 20, cotton coat times 1, men's sneakers times 1, sleepwell pillow times 1, simple sofa blueprint times 1, 2-meter-long greatsword times 1, stones times 10, wood times 34, hemostatic grass times 6, basic body refining pill times 1, mineral water times 2, women's sportswear set times 1, scissors times 1, large iron pot times 1, raincoat times 1, small group chat coupon times 1, bandage times 3, dungeon 1 fragment times 2, steamed buns times 3. Ha ha ha. I knew it. A 10 pull always yields something good. Just as I thought, today is a good day, and my wishes are all coming true. Dismantling all 10 wooden treasure chests yielded another 30 wood. Only the iron treasure box remained. Faye Yardley rubbed her hands together, blew a lucky breath on them, and opened it. Blood replenishing potion formula times 1, hair growth tonic times 1, dagger times 1, wood times 50, 1 backpack expansion times 10 diagrams. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm totally going to strike it rich. Who could possibly be more amazing than me? The pile of things in front of her nearly filled the entire cabin. She put on the thermal underwear and the sportswear, instantly feeling toasty and warm, maybe even a little hot. It was just a shame that the sneakers were for men. So annoying. I don't actually mind wearing men's styles, as long as the size is right. But the system was a total S. When Faye Yardley picked them up and tried to slip them on, the system prompted, "These are men's sneakers. Please maintain your decorum." Maintain my decorum? Faye was so angry she had to laugh. A survival game is actually policing what people wear? So, she casually packaged the sneakers into a red envelope and sent them to Zachary Pierce. There was a dungeon tonight. She'd just consider it an early investment. Mostly, she just wanted them out of her sight. Zachary Pierce, who was stubbornly fishing for treasure chests in the rain with a giant crab shell over his head, was startled by the red envelope notification. He paused, then asked matter-of-factly, "What are you short on this time?" "I don't need anything. It's a gift for you, Mr. Pierce." Zachary Pierce could hear the sheer frustration in her voice. He decided he'd open it after the chest fishing time was over and he was back on his raft. He'd see what it was and give her something suitable in return. He wasn't the type to take things for free, especially not from the sister of a comrade in arms. Faye Yardley turned her attention to the awning in her backpack. It must be pretty big, she thought, or it would have just appeared inside the house. She could pick a spot and install the awning right now, which would let her keep fishing for chests. It wasn't even 4 o'clock yet, so she had at least 2 more hours of fishing time. Imagine how many treasure chests that is. System, pull up the raft's layout panel. I want to see where to place the awning. A 3D model of the entire raft quickly appeared before Faye Yardley. The awning was 2.5 meters wide and, surprisingly, 4 meters long, the same as her house. The choice was obvious. She would install it on the side with the 2-meter wide walkway between the wooden house and the edge of the raft. Even though it would hang over the raft by half a meter, that would offer even better protection from the rain. Once it was installed, Faye Yardley quickly threw on her raincoat and headed out. She could organize the things in her house after the fishing time was over. There was still plenty of time. She stepped out the door, made a quick right, and ducked under the awning. Instantly, she felt a sense of salvation. Taking the wooden box she used for miscellaneous storage out of her inventory to use as a stool, Faye Yardley began to fish at a leisurely pace, now in the mood to check the regional channel. The public chat was even more bustling than before. Besides those shouting to trade materials, tons of people were complaining about being soaked to the bone by the downpour. They said the raindrops actually hurt when they hit, making it difficult to keep fishing for treasure chests. Even more people were complaining about not getting anything good from their chests, while another group was begging for shelter blueprints of any kind, desperate to get out of the rain. Happiness really is a matter of comparison. Faye just lurked on the channel, giggling foolishly to herself. She chose to selectively ignore the fact that she had just been totally triggered over a pair of sneakers. With no bites on her line, Faye Yardley focused her attention on the public chat screen in front of her. Among the sea of messages, she spotted a familiar name. Leo Sloan. Does anyone have a bandage or a hemostatic pill? I can trade a brand new iron treasure box for it. Haley Miles. Mr. Sloan, are you injured again? Unfortunately, I didn't get any bandages today. Wait, does this Leo Sloan have some kind of cursed constitution? He was injured and bleeding on the first day, and it's happening again on the second. Her hands moved faster than her brain as she immediately sent Leo Sloan a friend request. I'm definitely not just after his iron treasure box, she told herself. I just don't want to give Haley Miles another chance to play the hero. I have bandages. Bandage.jpg. The rest should be self-explanatory, right? Suddenly, she felt a tug on the fishing rod in her hand. Faye Yardley immediately started reeling in her fishing rod, not even checking to see if Leo Sloan had replied yet. She caught a sea snake, which almost gave Faye Yardley a heart attack. She was terrified of snake-like creatures. The moment the system prompted that it could be dismantled, she immediately chose to do so. She could trade the snake meat for supplies later. After casting her fishing line out again, Faye Yardley noticed that Leo Sloan had accepted her friend request long ago and had replied quickly, I'll trade. Please accept the red envelope. Miss Yardley, are you there? Please trade it to me. Leo Sloan isn't afraid of me ripping him off, even though I haven't sent the item yet. Faye Yardley thought for a moment before quickly accepting the red envelope. A brand new, unopened iron treasure box appeared before her. She had no intention of backing out of the deal and sent the bandage over directly. Then, a little curious, she asked, Aren't you afraid I'd rip you off? You sent it over directly. He accepted the item just as quickly. After a moment, Leo Sloan replied, Thank you, Miss Yardley. I've seen you before in Mr. Yardley's office. I'm willing to trust my judgment of character. Faye Yardley. Well, I'll be. So he might be one of my older brother's employees. Good judgment. On the other end, Leo Sloan looked at his left foot, now tightly wrapped with the bandage. He couldn't help but smile when he saw the message. He chose Faye Yardley out of all the people wanting to trade because he had met her before and knew she was still a naive, sheltered student. The survival game had only just begun 2 days ago. Even if people change, they couldn't change that fast. Compared to a complete stranger, what reason did he have not to trust his own judgment? Looking at his injured leg, he thought, I wonder what that trial dungeon will be like. I hope it's somewhat peaceful. Otherwise, I'm really afraid I'll die in there. If that happens, what will my parents and my child do when the second group enters in 2 months? But why isn't my wife in the same zone as me? Otherwise, he couldn't believe she would have missed the message he'd pinned earlier. Faye Yardley looked at the iron treasure box and rubbed her hands together. After muttering a string of spells, she opened it. Red date tree times 1, hen times 1, egg times 10, 100 G salt times 1. Dismantling the iron treasure box also yielded iron block times 2. No way. Did I say the spell wrong? Faye Yardley wondered, looking at the items. Then again, this isn't so bad. The human body needs salt. You can't go without it for long. She happily stored the items and went back to fishing. Come to think of it, no one should be short on food, right? After all, you can catch fish just by casting your line. At worst, you eat it raw. Since it's processed by the system, it's pollution-free, so there shouldn't be any parasites. Maybe I should take a piece out and try it later. Having been alone for so long, Faye Yardley had gotten used to muttering to herself. Help! This torrential rain is going to kill me. Why is it raining so hard? And when will it stop? Can anyone give me an umbrella? Loudly crying face, please. Thank goodness I got an octagonal pavilion blueprint. I'm sitting in the pavilion now, and even though some rain is drifting in, it's much better. I can even keep fishing. Hey, person above me, have a heart. I'm using a wooden treasure chest on my head as an umbrella, and it's so heavy my head is about to fall off. Everyone, this is still the novice protection period. Just think about how we're going to survive after it's over. It's so hopeless. I might as well just go die now. I'll go first out of respect. Haley Miles. Just hang in there. Isn't there a trial dungeon event at 8 p.m.? We might find something good there. Haley is so beautiful and kind. Because she was watching the public channel, Faye Yardley saw Haley Miles's message. It was so infuriating. She was putting on an act again. Who was it that pushed me off the cliff? Why did I transmigrate into a book I've read? Faye Yardley had already decided to deal with these questions after clearing the game. There was bound to be a reward for clearing it. After all, even though she hadn't read to the end of the book, the system had clearly stated that clearing the game would grant a wish. What she had to do now was get stronger. Getting stronger starts with fishing up treasure chests. When 6 p.m. arrived, Faye Yardley quickly stored the wooden box she was sitting on and her fishing rod into her backpack. She tugged at her raincoat, then dashed out from under the rain shelter, rounded a corner, and pushed open the door to her house. The series of movements was perfectly fluid. She closed the door, took off her raincoat and placed it by the entrance, and then began to organize the day's supplies. She now had a total of 119 wood, still a far cry from the 500 needed to upgrade to a level 4 raft. However, she had obtained a total of 12 plus 1 treasure chests today. Most people probably didn't have her luck. Although she had only fished up 1 wooden treasure chest in the last 2 hours, she had caught a decent number of sea creatures. Opening the chest yielded roast goose times 1, 100g white sugar times 2, wooden cutlery set times 1. She also caught some other sea creatures which she dismantled for a good amount of food. Approaching the workbench, she took out all the diagrams and found that the torch crafting diagram and the blood replenishing pills recipe could be learned. Without a second thought, she learned them directly. Fireplace blueprint cannot be learned. Required materials: stones 15/30ths, iron blocks 46/20ths, wood 119/10ths, copper 2/2. Simple sofa blueprint. Required materials: wood 119/30ths, iron blocks 46/12ths, cotton 25/30ths. Backpack expansion times 10 diagrams. Required materials: cloth 2/2, space stone 0/1. Faye Yardley felt her anger rise as she looked at the requirements. Of course, the materials are never all there at once, are they? She took a deep breath. It's fine. I have a lot of supplies. I can always trade for what I need. System: what is needed to craft blood replenishing pills? The workbench quickly displayed. Blood replenishing pills times 1. Requires red dates times 15. Shannon white times 2g. Insufficient materials, cannot craft. Faye Yardley felt herself growing more and more irritable. What do I need to make a torch? The workbench displayed. Torch times 1. Requires wood times 2. Oil times 1. 1 torch can burn for 8 hours. At this point, Faye Yardley laughed in frustration. So I'm missing something for everything, and I can't make a single thing. Is that it? Faye Yardley can help craft blood replenishing pills. For 1 pill, you must provide me with red dates times 30 and Shannon white times 4g. Trust-based trades. Also trading food, mineral water and basic iron axes for wood, stones, oil, space stones, iron blocks, copper, crystals, and other materials. The moment she sent the message, she started receiving a constant stream of notification sounds. Ding dong. System prompt: you have received a red envelope. Faye Yardley opened it and saw it was from Zachary Pierce. Thanks for the shoes, kid. They fit perfectly. Please accept the red envelope. She opened it and, to her surprise, found a pair of women's combat boots. Thank you, Mr. Pierce. I love them. They look great. Even though they don't really match my tracksuit, it's much better than wearing my rain-soaked shoes. Zachary Pierce. Where's the dungeon team-up option? I only see a grayed-out dungeon page. Hearing Zachary Pierce mention the dungeon, Faye Yardley noticed there were only 41 minutes left until the system said it would open. Wait, did I really spend that much time just looking at the public channel and organizing my things? She opened the system's dungeon page. As expected, everything was grayed out and unusable. However, in the bottom right corner of her screen, it still showed Dungeon 1 Fragment February 4th. Collect all to unlock. Mr. Pierce, I checked. My interface is grayed out too. We probably just have to wait for the timer. I'm going to trade for some things first. Okay, let me know what you're missing at the end. Seeing Zachary Pierce's message, Faye Yardley was certain he must already have a team. Otherwise, how could he guarantee he'd have whatever she was missing? How nice! Faye Yardley hoped that one day, she too would have a group of partners she could trust to watch her back. I have a small group chat coupon. Even though she didn't have any partners yet, Faye Yardley never considered giving the coupon to Zachary Pierce or trading it away. She simply clicked to use it herself. A small group chat appeared next to the public channel, currently with only one member, the owner. It really was small. The maximum number of members was 10. Faye Yardley immediately pulled Zachary Pierce, Leo Sloan, and the two trustworthy players she had traded with before, Bonnie Callahan and Wade Warren, into the group. Faye Yardley. Hello everyone, I just made a group. I ask that all members be trustworthy. Group functions are yet to be explored. Bonnie Callahan. Oh my god, you can make groups? How did you do it, can you tell us? I can't find the option to create one. Wade Warren. It must be an item or something. This game doesn't have a feature to create groups unconditionally. Thanks for the opportunity to be a group member, admin. I'll take a look at the group functions in a bit. Bonnie Callahan. Admin, I have the oil you need, but I'm not short on food. What can you offer? Faye Yardley was writing a group announcement listing the items she needed. Seeing the mention of oil and that Bonnie Callahan didn't seem to need anything else, she said, Give me 2 oil and 4 wood, and I'll make a torch for you. Bonnie Callahan quickly sent a designated red envelope in the group chat. Faye Yardley accepted it and found it contained enough materials for 4 torches. With nothing more to say, she placed the materials on the workbench and started crafting torches. A finished product appeared in just 30 seconds. Faye Yardley also used a designated group red envelope to send 2 torches to Bonnie Callahan. Then she collected the torches and put them in her backpack. Just as she was about to check the basic body refining pill, she saw Leo Sloan ask in the group chat, Can 20 stones be traded for an iron axe? Faye Yardley was thrilled. Perfect timing. She quickly replied, yes. After the red envelope trade was successful, Faye Yardley immediately used the fireplace blueprint on the wall opposite her workbench. After a swirl of rolling mist, a square, rustic-looking fireplace appeared on the opposite wall, just as expected. Fireplace. Fuel can be added. Wood, charcoal, coal. A burning fireplace provides warmth, dispels darkness, and repels sea monsters that try to attack the raft. Faye Yardley thought for a moment, then tossed a piece of wood into the fireplace. Whoosh! A fire automatically flared up inside. She then discovered that a single piece of wood would only burn for 2 hours. She moved her 2-meter-long broadsword over the fireplace flames, then took out some fish meat and crab meat, placed it on the blade to grill, and sprinkled it with a little salt. While waiting for the fish to cook, Faye Yardley took out the basic body refining pill. There was no special notification for it. It just looked like a large, unremarkable black sesame ball. How did the book describe this body refining pill again? Ugh, I can't quite remember. I only recall that it randomly adds 1 to 3 attribute points. After some thought, Faye Yardley took off her clothes and shoes, placing them on the wooden bed to the side. She then brought her wet clothes over, put them on the one wooden crate she hadn't dismantled, and moved it near the fireplace. The wet clothes should be dry in 2 hours, right? She popped the body refining pill into her mouth. She had thought something so big would be hard to swallow, but to her surprise, it melted instantly into a liquid that slid down her throat. Soon, Faye Yardley felt a pain like millions of ants gnawing at her. She curled into a ball on the floor, her whole body breaking out in sweat. Pain. So painful. It was a pain that made you want to roll around on the ground. Just as the pain was about to make her pass out, Faye Yardley slammed her head against something and chanted inwardly, I can do this. I can do this. This little bit of pain is nothing. I can get through it. I definitely can. After the pain receded like a tide, Faye Yardley felt a sense of relief wash over her entire body. A warm current seemed to generate within her, instantly restoring her mind and body to normal. However, she was drenched in sweat. Faye Yardley got up, walked out of her hut, and let the downpour wash over her, treating it like a shower. After a minute, feeling she was clean, she quickly ran back inside. She dried herself with the cloth she had used to wrap her body before and swiftly put on her clothes and shoes. When she checked again, the fish meat and crab meat on her broadsword were already sizzling, and the aroma of food filled the hut. She took out her wooden tableware and used her chopsticks to flip the fish meat and crab meat. Only then did she realize that not even 5 minutes had passed since she had taken the body refining pill. System. Display personal attributes. The holographic screen in front of her changed, and her personal attributes appeared. Talent. None. Constitution. 5+1. You finally have the physical constitution of a normal adult. Strength. 3+1. The extra point of strength gives you the illusion that you can kill a tiger with one punch. Agility. 7. Spirit. 7+1. You can pull an all-nighter and still be full of energy. Luck. 9. Charm. 8. Skills. None. Hunger level. 67. Max 100. If it drops to 0, you'll starve to death. Clenching her fist, Faye Yardley looked at the panel and scoffed. I'm not that arrogant. I know my own limits. Okay? If you had the guts to give me another 10 points at once, then maybe I'd get the illusion I could kill a tiger with one punch. Who is this system looking down on? But no matter what, she had already gotten stronger on the second day. I should be ahead of a lot of people, right? The broadsword really was great for grilling fish meat. She placed the cooked fish meat and crab meat onto a plate, then took out a bottle of Sprite and began her dinner. Checking the time, she saw there were 26 minutes until the dungeon opened. She quickened her pace of eating. When there were only 20 minutes left, every player received a system notification. Dear player, the trial dungeon will open in 20 minutes. Please prepare for entry. We wish all players a pleasant experience in the trial dungeon. Dear player, you have received a trial dungeon team invitation. Accept. Seeing that the invitation was from Zachary Pierce, Faye Yardley selected yes. Soon, she discovered that the dungeon interface was no longer grayed out. Furthermore, the entrance to the trial dungeon now showed two small figures standing side by side, holding hands. Mr. Pierce, what's your strength like? Do you like using oversized weapons? Looking at the message from Faye Yardley, Zachary Pierce was certain she had a large weapon she couldn't use. It made sense. She had trouble even using an iron axe and had traded it for supplies, so this new weapon was likely the same. What is it? Send it to me so I can see. 2-meter greatsword.jpg. Faye Yardley used the last bit of time she had to quickly browse messages from people wanting to trade. She ignored everything else for the moment, focusing on finding a space stone. Her priority was to successfully craft the backpack from its blueprint. What if I need to carry a lot of things in the dungeon? You can never have too many backpacks. Seeing the large iron pot and horseshoe crab shell, Faye Yardley quickly opened her door, took them out and placed them outside. It would be good to collect some rainwater with them. I can't drink it, but I can use it to wash my face or wipe the floor. There was also an iron box she'd been using as a stool or even a backrest. Now she could put it outside with the lid open to collect rainwater, too. She organized her backpack. Out of a total of 20 slots, 2 harpoons, a basic iron axe, a dagger, and a pair of scissors took up 4 slots. They were weapons, after all, so keeping them in the front slots made for easy access. She had a wooden box that she used for miscellaneous odds and ends. Now, she moved some things she wouldn't need into her room, freeing up the box to be used exclusively for food and water. She didn't want to starve or die of thirst in the dungeon. She also stored 2 torches in her backpack. It would be a waste to leave them outside to burn away for nothing. Bandages and hemostatic pills were also essential, of course. They weren't very large, so if she ran out of inventory space, she could squeeze them into the box with her food. That's 8 slots filled, which leaves 12 free. If I can just get a space stone before the dungeon opens, I'll have another 10 slots. Zachary Pierce had sent several urgent messages about wanting to trade, but Faye Yardley hadn't replied. Now that her backpack was more or less organized, she finally sent a reply. Do you have a space stone? You can trade it for the greatsword. Is a space stone the only thing you'll accept? Faye Yardley blinked, momentarily unsure how to answer. A space stone is what I need most right now, she thought. Of course, I need other things too, but those can wait. But the problem is, he's about to be my teammate. He's my lifeline. So, gritting her teeth, Faye Yardley packaged the greatsword she had just been using as a grill rack into a red envelope and sent it over. Dear players, the trial dungeon will open in 5 minutes. Please prepare yourselves. Just then, the group chat showed 99 plus unread messages. So that's the biggest difference, she realized. There's no limit to how much you can post in the group chat, but you can only send 3 messages on the public channel every 12 hours. Faye Yardley took a look. Many of the messages were at mentioning her. Wade Warren at Faye Yardley, group leader, can you trade me a basic iron axe? Is wood X50 and iron X10 enough? Leo Sloan at Faye Yardley, group leader, I sent a red envelope. Please help me make 2 torches, for the same price as before. Bonnie Callahan, can anyone team up with me? I discovered you can enter the dungeon in teams, but only in squads of 2. Faye Yardley quickly accepted the red envelopes from Wade Warren and Leo Sloan, then swiftly crafted the basic iron axe and torches they wanted at her workbench and sent them over. Just as she finished, a 10-second countdown to enter the dungeon began. Faye Yardley checked herself over and found nothing wrong. She took a deep breath, preparing to face the unknown trial dungeon. 3, 2, 1. Faye Yardley vanished from her raft and reappeared on the sandy beach of a small island. Beside her stood a tall, handsome man. Mr. Pierce. Faye Yardley had barely gotten the name out before she shrieked, "Watch out!" As she spoke, she pulled a harpoon from her inventory and hurled it toward the space behind him. Zachary Pierce's reactions were indeed swift. He had just started to turn but instantly spun back around, a 2-meter-long greatsword already in his hand. He split a large crab that had just emerged from the sand into 2 halves. Congratulations, player. You have successfully killed 1 crab. Team points +1. Faye Yardley ran over to retrieve her harpoon, only to find that it had indeed speared a gopher, which was still squealing frantically. Zachary Pierce came over, greatsword in hand, and sliced it in 2. Points +3. Faye Yardley's eyes instantly lit up. She went to loot the corpse. 1 gopher found. Break it down. Yes, yes, yes. Obtained. Stones +2. Mr. Pierce, quick, loot the crab's body. You'll get materials if you break it down. Okay. Faye Yardley was so thankful she had called for backup. Otherwise, relying on herself, it's not that I couldn't have handled it, but it would have been incredibly tough. Faye Yardley, who had just been about to tell herself she'd have been fine, immediately changed her mind. Mobs were beginning to pop up one after another in a 3-meter radius around them. What kind of trial event is this? You have to kill a pile of monsters the moment you get here. What are people who came with nothing supposed to do? While Faye Yardley stood gripping her harpoon, still thinking nervously, Zachary Pierce had already begun to carve a path in every direction with his 2-meter greatsword, his swings wide and powerful. All she could hear was the chime of notifications. Points +1, +1, +3, +2, +1, +1, +2. Watch yourself, don't get clipped by my blade. Wait for me to clear this area. Then you can go loot the bodies. Oh, okay. At first, Faye Yardley was still looting the bodies carefully, but she soon realized her looting speed couldn't keep up with the rate at which Zachary Pierce was killing the mobs. She just kept bent over, looting and looting. Some of the corpses even despawned because she wasn't fast enough. That's just ridiculous. Eventually, Faye Yardley put away her harpoon and started jogging around, looting with both hands. Before she knew it, she discovered her backpack was almost full. Mr. Pierce, Do you have any space left in your backpack? Let's finish looting this wave and head further onto the island. Okay? Then we can divide up the supplies we've gathered. Faye Yardley was worried the system would spawn a second wave if they stayed there. Okay. My backpack is completely full, Zachary Pierce said. Now, unless the items he broke down were of a type that stacked, they would just appear on the ground beside him. Huh? Mr. Pierce, not far behind you. Is that a treasure box in the water? I'll finish breaking these down and then go take a look. You can come over and pick up the things I can't fit in my pack. Okay. Faye Yardley felt she was incredibly lucky and had shown amazing foresight. With this many monsters, if I were alone, I would have been screaming in terror long ago, and I'd most likely be seriously injured by now. Beep, beep, beep. Someone was mentioning Faye Yardley in the group chat again. Leo Sloan at Faye Yardley? Group leader, do you have any more bandages? I just got swarmed by a mob of monsters, and my injured leg is bleeding again. The blood is making them attack more ferociously. Can I trade an unopened iron treasure box for one? Wade Warren, the public channel is grayed out now, so we can only use group chat or message friends directly. Thanks for the iron axe earlier, group leader. It was a huge help. Faye Yardley checked her inventory. She had 3 bandages and 2 hemostatic pills left. After a moment's hesitation, she gritted her teeth and agreed. By the time they finished picking everything up, Faye Yardley was so exhausted she slumped down on the beach, wanting nothing more than to just lie there. Who knew such a huge haul could be this tiring? She thought. Zachary Pierce looked at the exhausted Faye Yardley, a slight smile touching his lips as he held out his hand. Get up. It's not safe here. You'll be in for a world of hurt if a monster suddenly pops out from under the sand. Oh right, let's grab our things and go, then, Zachary Pierce said. I'll open the chest then. We can put some of the smaller items inside. Faye Yardley's curious expression slowly turned into a dumbfounded stare as Zachary Pierce opened the wooden treasure chest. Inside were only 2 items, wood X5 and mineral water X1. Mr. Pierce, from now on, if we find any more treasure chests on the island, how about you let me open them? Zachary Pierce had always considered his luck to be decent, at least among his friends. But from Faye Yardley's expression, he could tell she was probably a king of luck who couldn't bear to watch someone with bad luck open a chest. Besides, he thought, we're a team. It doesn't matter who opens them. All right, from now on, they're all yours. I should open a chest just to show him, Faye Yardley thought. The loot will definitely be better than what he got. He seems to trust his luck, but seeing is believing. But she didn't have time for a demonstration. Zachary Pierce hauled her to her feet and started pulling her toward the inner part of the island. The area where the monsters had just spawned was beginning to refresh. Being yanked around like that didn't feel great, but when she saw the densely packed monsters, even more than the last wave, Faye Yardley couldn't bring herself to utter a single word of complaint. Are you kidding me? There are so many of them. Stay here for now and be careful. I'm going to take out this wave. Faye Yardley's feelings were complicated. It feels like our team's monster slaying strategy is stomp and slaughter. I'm in charge of the stomp, just making noise, while Zachary Pierce handles the slaughter. It's nice to be protected, but I still need to get stronger on my own. Mr. Pierce, let 1 or 2 get past you for me. All right. With the high-level fish spear in hand, Faye Yardley wasn't completely defenseless. Plus, she didn't have to engage in close-quarters combat. So, when the occasional straggler got through to her, she was flustered and clumsy at first, but she quickly grew more and more adept at handling them. Initially, even a single monster made her panic, but by the end, she could face a 3-pronged attack without batting an eye. Her improvement was undeniable. The only problem was how quickly it drained her stamina. By the time the second wave was completely cleared, Faye Yardley didn't even feel like harvesting the monster corpses. Of course, that was impossible. She took a wooden box from her backpack, tossed a bottle of mineral water to Zachary Pierce, then opened one for herself and gulp, 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 chugged half of it in one go. The water made her feel human again, and she immediately started looting the bodies. Seeing her frantic pace, Zachary Pierce didn't dare waste any more time drinking his water. In the end, a large number of the corpses were mercilessly despawned by the system before they could be harvested. But by then, Faye Yardley was drenched in sweat, sitting on the rapidly heating sand, too exhausted to even lift a finger. Zachary Pierce looked at the disheveled Faye Yardley, not with amusement, but with a pang of sympathy. If this had been just 2 days ago, he thought, before our world was taken over by this so-called survival game, she would just be a normal, happy student. He walked over, bent down and lifted her into his arms. You're getting too much sun here. You'll get a sunburn or dehydrate. I'll carry you over to the shade under that tree. Faye Yardley just grunted in acknowledgement. She truly had no strength left. The old saying about finding good shade under a large tree was a perfect description of the moment. After checking that the surroundings were clear, Zachary Pierce gently set Faye Yardley down at the base of the tree, letting her lean against the trunk. I'm going to bring back the materials we harvested. Shout if anything happens. As he spoke, he started organizing his backpack, needing to clear out some items to make room for the new materials. Faye Yardley just blinked to show she understood. Leaning against the tree, she looked up. The massive canopy blocked the increasingly scorching sun. It's strange, she thought. We entered this dungeon at 8 p.m., but it's broad daylight in here. There was no point wondering why a giant camphor tree was growing on a tropical island. Game worlds didn't have to follow the laws of science. Faye Yardley panted, wishing she could recover faster. If only I had a potion to restore my stamina and energy right now, she thought. System, do you sell recovery potions? Transmigrating into a book didn't make you all-knowing, especially when you'd read over 2 million words of it. She'd long forgotten most of the early game settings. You can earn points in a dungeon, so there should be a point shop, right? Dear player, the dungeon point shop can be unlocked for 10 dungeon points. Pay to unlock. Faye Yardley looked over at Zachary Pierce, who was still organizing his things. He had clearly heard the system prompt as well, because he gave her a confirmatory nod. Yes, the point shop had a wide variety of items. As she'd hoped, it sold potions to restore stamina and energy. The price wasn't too steep either, just 10 points a bottle. The points were shared by the group, but Zachary Pierce had been the one to kill most of the monsters, so Faye Yardley looked to him for a decision. Zachary Pierce reached out and patted her head. Go ahead and buy them. His gaze lingered for a moment on the small group chat coupon in the point shop. A single one cost 1,000 points, and they only had 769 points in total after killing 2 waves of monsters. Faye Yardley bought 2 energy recovery potions. She handed one to Zachary Pierce and drank the other herself. She instantly felt her energy return. Her limbs were still aching, but it was no longer a major issue. Mr. Pierce, most of the points came from your kills, and you're the leader. Change the distribution settings so points go to whoever gets the kill, Faye Yardley said, getting up and dusting herself off. As it stands, you have 700 points and I have 49. I guess I owe you for this potion. There were plenty of good things in the point shop, and Faye Yardley was naturally eyeing them, especially the basic body refining pill, which would be the most helpful for her at the moment. There were also backpack expansion, X50 blueprints, space stones, high-level wooden house blueprints, warehouse blueprints, and so on. A single basic body refining pill cost 100 points. She wasn't sure if she could save up enough before they had to leave. There were so many good items that even Zachary Pierce was momentarily dazzled. But he quickly composed himself and shook his head. We're a team. We can't divide things like that. We'll just split the points evenly. I disagree. If you insist on that, I'll be too embarrassed to team up with you next time. Getting a free ride is nice, she thought, but you can't build a partnership on that. Long-term cooperation is the best way to go. As for all these miscellaneous materials, I just had a better idea. We could use the red envelope function between friends, or the exclusive one for group members. What do you think? Looking at the pile of loot before them, she thought, what's a little system exploit between friends? Items in a single inventory slot could stack up to 99. Any more than that would take up a new slot. Faye Yardley had originally thought red envelopes had no item limit, but she hadn't expected that the total quantity of all items inside also couldn't exceed 99. Looks like we'll have to wait for the trading system to come online for any major trades. Faye Yardley never would have guessed either. After pooling their items and clearing 2 waves of monsters in the dungeon, a quick look at their haul gave her the illusion of having struck it rich. Wood X345, stones X155, oil X46, iron block X68, copper X23, crystal X7, 5M rope X6, charcoal X21, coal blocks X33, sand X2, 4 square meters wood flooring X1, shells X11, patterned cloth X3, cloth X1, dungeon 2 fragment X1. And that was without even looting every corpse, not to mention Zachary Pierce's mediocre luck. Faye Yardley sent 3 stacks of wood and 1 stack of stones to Zachary Pierce, who in turn packed some miscellaneous items into 2 red envelopes and sent them to her. So now, besides her weapon and a wooden box, Faye Yardley's inventory held wood X48, stones X56, oil X46, and iron block X68. Should we explore the interior of the island now, or go back to the beach and kill another wave? Zachary Pierce felt like he could keep killing monsters here forever if he could. It wasn't just about the points. There were also piles of resources. Faye Yardley blinked and pointed at the empty beach. No new monsters have respawned. Why don't you go stand over there for 2 minutes and see if any respawn? If they do, we kill them. If not, we explore the island. It turned out that if you were capable of killing them, the system wouldn't give you another chance to farm points. One person carried a large broadsword and scouted ahead, while the other held a harpoon and followed closely behind. There are quite a few types of trees here. Think we can chop them down? As Faye Yardley spoke, the harpoon in her hand transformed into an iron axe. She faced a tree that looked anything but ordinary, raised the axe, and swung it at the trunk. I'll do it. Faye Yardley looked at the shallow mark on the trunk, and when she heard his voice, she obediently stepped back. The broadsword came down in a vicious diagonal slash, yet the damage it dealt was surprisingly no different from Faye's casual swing with the iron axe. The two of them fell silent for a moment. Faye Yardley handed the iron axe over. Mr. Pierce, try using this. Maybe an axe is better for chopping trees after all. After 3 loud techunkes, the tree toppled over with a resounding crash. The two of them squatted beside the fallen tree and simultaneously received a system notification. Obtained high-level redwood X1. High-level redwood? I got one, what about you? Same. Although Zachary Pierce didn't know what it was for, he knew anything with high level in its name couldn't be bad. I'll chop the trees, he said. Okay. Then I'll look around for anything else to gather or any treasure boxes. As Faye Yardley spoke, she began to scan the area for any medicinal herbs or fruit-bearing trees she might recognize. She squatted down and casually pulled up a plant. The system gave no notification, so it clearly wasn't anything useful. She tossed it aside and pulled up another type. It didn't matter that she didn't recognize them. She could just keep trying. And sure enough, she managed to pull up several different medicinal herbs. 3-leaf clear X3, dandelion X2, pusidanum root X1, white atractylodes X1, golden flower X2. This trial dungeon is a great place, she thought. So many things to find, useful or not. And as she gathered the herbs, she also heard the sound of her points increasing. +1, +1, +1. But could it really be this easy? Just pure rewards with no catch? Faye Yardley felt a faint sense of unease. But not far off, Zachary Pierce was still chopping down trees, seemingly without a problem in the world. She stood and scanned the area. Perhaps because so many trees had been felled, her line of sight had improved. Up ahead and to the left, she could faintly see the glint of a silver corner. Mr. Pierce, up ahead to the left, do you see something silver flashing? With another loud crash, a tree fell. Zachary Pierce looked in the direction Faye was pointing. Sure enough, there it was. You collect the wood. We'll go check it out together. He had already discovered that whenever he collected the wood, he would only get 1 unit. But if he let Faye collect it, the amount could become 2 or even 3. After hastily collecting the wood, Faye Yardley whipped the harpoon out of her inventory and hurried after Zachary Pierce. They stopped about 3 meters from the silver treasure box. They'd never seen a silver treasure box before. Could it really be this easy to find one? The two of them carefully scanned their surroundings. There really didn't seem to be a guardian beast. They exchanged a glance. Finally, Zachary Pierce said, "You stay here. I'll go check. Mr. Pierce, take one more step forward and poke the box with your 2-meter-long broadsword." The moment the broadsword made contact with the box, a massive brownish-green snake head emerged, its forked tongue, as thick as a child's arm, flicking out. Zachary Pierce quickly stepped forward to knock the treasure box away with the flat of his blade, then twisted the sharp edge around to slash at the great snake. The great snake ignored the attack, its head lunging toward Zachary Pierce with its massive jaws agape, reeking of a foul stench. At the same time, its tail whipped toward the treasure box. Faye Yardley was terrified of snakes. Her legs felt weak, but she bit down hard on her lower lip to keep herself from screaming. Seeing the treasure box not far to her right, Faye decided she couldn't give up. They had already provoked the great snake. It would be a cosmic injustice not to get the treasure. Fighting to overcome her fear, Faye Yardley stumbled toward the box. The instant her fingers made contact, she stashed it in her inventory. In the same moment, the snake's tail slammed into her, sending her flying sideways until she crashed into a tree. The impact forced a cough from her that nearly brought up blood. When she turned back to look at Zachary Pierce and the great snake, she saw the broadsword wedged in the beast's mouth, forcing it open. Clearly enraged, the snake was thrashing about, its massive head swinging wildly from side to side. Zachary Pierce now wielded the iron axe, dodging and hacking at the snake. He left a series of marks on its scales, some deep, some shallow, but none seemed to do any real damage. This can't go on. Bracing herself with one hand on the ground, Faye Yardley struggled to her feet. She swayed for a moment before steadying herself. With a couple of coughs, she drew her harpoon and hurled it with all her might at the snake's enormous, bell-like eye. With a loud crack, both Faye Yardley and Zachary Pierce heard something shatter, and the harpoon clattered to the ground. The great snake began to convulse even more furiously, its tail a blur as it swept through everything in its path. Wait! The snake's eye has a protective layer? As the frenzied snake charged toward her, Faye Yardley pulled out her last harpoon. Without a second's hesitation, she hurled it straight at the great snake's left eye. Instantly, the harpoon buried itself deep in the great snake's left eye. Blood sprayed everywhere. The pain drove the great snake into a frenzy. Its tail thrashed about erratically, left, right, up and down, snapping smaller trees in half. Faye Yardley was certain that if she got hit even once, it would be all over for her. What do I do? What do I do? Panic seized her heart. But Faye Yardley's feet had a mind of their own and were already carrying her away. As she fled for her life, she ignored minor things like her arms smacking into branches or vines scratching her cheeks. She nearly tripped and fell several times. The great snake's aggro was locked firmly onto Faye Yardley. She ran, it chased, and she was gradually finding herself trapped with no escape. Fortunately, Faye Yardley hadn't entered the dungeon alone. There was still Zachary Pierce, whom the great snake had completely ignored. The ground was left flattened and devastated where the snake's thick body had passed. Blood streamed continuously from its eye. Its mouth was forced open by the great sword and couldn't close, and it kept ramming its head into the trees on either side. Zachary Pierce turned back, picked up the harpoon Faye Yardley had thrown earlier and gave chase. He planned to hurl the harpoon straight into its mouth. The snake's scales were too tough. Their only option was to attack it from the inside. If only I had some poison, he thought. I could toss it into the snake's mouth and hopefully kill it outright. Luckily, Faye Yardley wasn't running in a straight line, but in circles. She had no choice. If she didn't run faster, the snake would smash her into a pulp. A tree fell with every lash of its tail. It's scaring me to death. Dear player, the trial dungeon will end in 10 minutes. Please make the most of your remaining time. Faye Yardley let out a terrified shriek after the snake's tail nearly clipped her head. As she rounded a bend, she created an opening for Zachary Pierce, who had been in pursuit. He forcefully hurled the harpoon in his hand toward the great snake's left eye. Squelch! The harpoon plunged deep into the snake's left eye. The eye, which was already wounded and bleeding, was instantly ruined. Fresh blood sprayed out, and the giant snake, in agony, threw its head back and thrashed wildly from side to side. As it hissed, its forked tongue was sliced open by the blade in its mouth, instantly doubling the giant snake's pain. The giant snake stopped in its tracks to rage, giving Faye Yardley a chance to catch her breath. She finally remembered that among the plants she'd gathered was the golden flower. The entire plant was poisonous. She took a dagger and the golden flower from her backpack. Pulling down her sleeve to cover her hand, she hastily smeared the golden flower all over the dagger. Then, gritting her teeth, she turned back and approached the giant snake. Although the 2-meter-long greatsword propped its huge mouth open, there was still a large gap on either side. Faye Yardley took a deep breath and viciously threw the dagger, coated with the entire golden flower, into its mouth. She watched as the great snake swallowed the dagger whole. And now, run! As Faye Yardley ran, she tripped and rolled twice before stopping. She found herself facing a field of trees knocked down by the giant snake. Her hands moved faster than her brain, and she immediately reached out to touch one. Obtained intermediate wood X3. Oh my god! Who could resist this? Faye Yardley saw that the giant snake was still thrashing about wildly and didn't seem to be chasing her. With only 8 minutes left on the dungeon countdown, she began to frantically gather wood. She was the very picture of someone who'd risk their life for a little profit. Meanwhile, Zachary Pierce was carefully avoiding the rampaging snake, iron axe in hand, trying to find another opportunity to damage it. With 5 minutes left on the countdown, Faye Yardley stopped her frantic wood gathering. She slapped her forehead. I'm so stupid. She took out the silver treasure chest and opened it directly, not even bothering with chanting a spell. Obtained Peerless Treasure Sword X1, Production Workshop Blueprint X1, Warehouse Construction Blueprint X1, Antidote Potion Recipe X1, Luminous Pearl X2, Water Repelling Pearl X1, Small Group Chat Coupon X1. Holy crap! I hit the jackpot. She stored the other items in her backpack and dashed toward the giant snake, carrying the Peerless Treasure Sword. Seeing Zachary Pierce, she immediately shouted, Mr. Pierce, come here. I've got a good weapon for you. Toss it over. No, you come get it. I'm afraid its tail will knock it away if I throw it. Faye Yardley was even more afraid she'd accidentally skewer Zachary Pierce. Zachary Pierce and Faye Yardley ran toward each other, quickly handing off the treasure sword. At that moment, Zachary Pierce had no time to wonder where the sword had come from. When he raised the sword and brought it down in a diagonal slash against the giant snake's tail, the attack that had previously been unable to break through its scales now severed nearly half the tail clean off. The sharpness of the treasure sword exceeded Zachary Pierce's imagination. It also gave him the confidence to finish off the giant snake in the time they had left. Faye Yardley, who had retreated to a safe distance to watch, saw the tail get sliced in two with a single blow, and her eyes went wide. Her feet moved faster than her brain as she ran toward the severed tail section. Wielding the treasure sword, Zachary Pierce's damage output skyrocketed. The treasure sword sliced open the snake's belly, disemboweling it. A gush of blood spilled onto the ground, and the cloying, sweet, metallic scent of its blood filled the air, making Zachary Pierce feel dazed for a moment. Just then, Faye Yardley heard a system notification. Acquired 1/3 of a second-tier giant snake tail. Can be disassembled. Disassemble? Disassemble. Obtained hardened snake skin X1. Snake meat rich in energy X5. Snake bone X1. With 2 minutes left on the countdown, the snake's head suddenly smashed down toward Zachary Pierce. He did a sliding tackle, sword raised, narrowly dodging as the tip of his blade sliced a circle of skin from under the snake's eye. 1 minute left on the countdown. Zachary Pierce once again pierced the snake's scales and stabbed into its body. He struck 4 more times in quick succession, each thrust tearing out flesh and blood. With a final thrust that pierced both its eyes, the giant snake collapsed with a thunderous crash, knocking down 2 more trees. Ding! Congratulations to Zachary Pierce and Faye Yardley's party for killing the second-tier boss, the giant snake. A server-wide announcement will now be made. Do you wish to remain anonymous? Faye Yardley chose to be anonymous, and to her surprise, so did Zachary Pierce. Server-wide announcement. Congratulations to the anonymous party for achieving the world's first kill of the second-tier boss, the giant snake, in the trial dungeon. The survival game ranking function is now unlocked. The system trading function will now begin early. Party points plus 3,000. Each party member's game reputation plus 500. Free attribute points plus 2. x3. While the 3 server-wide announcements were being broadcast, Faye Yardley was already looting the giant snake boss's corpse. Obtained snake gallbladder x1, snake meat rich in energy x15, snake bone x3, hardened snake skin x2, damaged snake skin x2, snake blood x 500 ml, poisonous fong x2, ordinary island entry order x1, snake egg x2. She quickly touched the toppled trees nearby. Obtained high-level redwood x4. Obtained intermediate wood x3. Obtained high-level fir wood x2. Trial dungeon game countdown. 10 seconds remaining. 5. Mr. Pierce, let's sort out the loot after we leave the dungeon. The words had barely left Faye Yardley's mouth, and before she could get a reply from Zachary Pierce, she was kicked out of the dungeon and found herself back in the wooden house on her raft. I'm exhausted, utterly exhausted. Faye Yardley discovered it was still raining outside. She looked down at her filthy body, took off her clothes again, and rushed into the rain to wash herself clean. After washing up, she discovered the clothes she had left by the fireplace were now dry. The fireplace had also gone out, its fuel spent. Her haul from this run included charcoal and coal. Faye Yardley found them and tossed 1 unit of each into the fireplace. A prompt appeared, informing her that the charcoal would burn for 4 hours and the coal for 8 hours. She moved the large iron pot, already filled with water from outside, the horseshoe crab shell, and the metal box indoors, setting them down beside the workbench. She once again used a corner of the cloth she'd been using as a bath towel to dry her body before wrapping it around herself. Faye Yardley looked at the blue cloth wrapped around her. It's just 1 bolt of cloth, it shouldn't matter, right? She thought. Even if it does, now that I've used it this way, can it still be used for crafting from a blueprint? A message notification from her friend, Zachary Pierce, popped up. Without looking closely, Faye Yardley replied first. Sorry, Mr. Pierce, I just took a quick shower in the rain. Let's tally up our haul now. Only then did she actually read what Zachary Pierce had sent. Yardley, the point shop is closing in half an hour. Take a look and see what we should get. I want to use my points for a small group chat coupon, but you can decide on the rest for both of us. Faye Yardley sat before the fireplace, squeezing the water from her still dripping hair. You take the 3,000 points from the reward, and I'll take the remaining 1,327. Is that all right? All right. Also, I already got a small group chat coupon from a silver treasure box in the dungeon. You can have it. Save your points for something else. I suggest you buy an intermediate body refining pill, a high-level house building plan, a fireplace blueprint, and some items for both cold resistance and heat prevention. Red envelope, small group chat coupon. All right, thanks. Faye Yardley then added, as for the other miscellaneous stuff, I'll send you a list after I've sorted and tallied everything. No rush on that. But, could I have the Peerless Treasure Sword? You can have everything else, I don't mind. Zachary Pierce truly felt he had struck gold teaming up with Faye Yardley. She might not have killed many monsters, but her luck was absolutely invincible. During the time she was unresponsive, he had been reading the public chat and talking with some of the other guys. He wasn't completely in the dark about what was happening outside their little team. He believed that once Faye Yardley had a moment to check the public chat, she would quickly realize that their dungeon run had basically been a handout compared to what others went through. Since he wasn't in a rush, Faye Yardley decided not to rush either. She opened her last bottle of Sprite and, gulp, drank down nearly half of it. She was exhausted and just wanted to go to sleep and deal with everything later. But her points hadn't been spent yet, so she forced herself to stay awake and told the system to open the point shop. Everything else can wait, she thought. Items that boost my own power have to come first. She bought 3 basic body refining pills at 100 points each, then 5 physical potions and 5 energy potions, both 10 points per bottle. That left her with 927 points. 2 intermediate body refining pills at 300 points each. Instantly, she was down to just 327 points. These points sure go fast, she mused. A basic Woodhouse upgrade voucher for 100 points. She snatched that up. 2 space stones at 100 points each. With only 27 points left, Faye Yardley couldn't be bothered to think anymore. She exchanged them all for wood needed to upgrade her raft. At a rate of 1 point for 10 wood, she ended up with another 270 wood in her inventory. After she was done, she thought she would fall asleep the moment she lay down, but unexpectedly, her mind was racing with all sorts of thoughts, and she couldn't get to sleep at all. System, display the regional channel and group chat. Both were bustling with activity. Thanks to whichever big shot got the system to open the trading function early. This is awesome. No more worrying about getting scammed in trades. The system is such a rip-off. It even charges a transaction fee. 1 wood is still a resource, you know. My heart aches just thinking about it. Damn it, other people's trial dungeons have them fighting a second-tier boss, but my trial dungeon was just me getting chased all over by trash mobs. 1 trial dungeon, and the total population of the region dropped by a 5-figure number. What a great experience. Huh. Haley Miles. The trial dungeon was definitely a bonus round. Didn't you guys notice that you don't just get points for killing monsters, you can also break them down for all sorts of raw materials? I even found a bunch of fruit trees on my island and picked a ton of fruit. Haley is such a king of luck. I was on a barren island getting chased by monsters. Just surviving until the end of the dungeon felt like a victory. Kyle Lewis. To the person who can make blood replenishing potions, are you there? I'd like to trade with you. I've posted an offer on the trading system with the specific items you requested. Ha! This Kyle Lewis seems to have something interesting, Faye thought. Faye Yardley shifted her attention from the regional channel to the trading system. It was her first time using the new trading system. You could just search and filter for what you wanted. It was so much more convenient than before. She couldn't search directly for a seller's name, so she had to search for Red Dates and Shannon White. Searching for both at once instantly narrowed the results down to just 5 trade listings. Kyle Lewis was offering 60 Red Dates and 10G of Shannon White. Faye happily clicked to accept the conditional trade. This way, she only had to give Kyle Lewis 2 blood replenishing potions, and she could not only keep 2 for herself but would also have 2G of Shannon White left over. If she could just get another 15 Red Dates, she could make another potion. She was overjoyed. Her exhaustion vanished in an instant. She did a kip-up, springing from the bed and making a beeline for the workbench. She loved the feeling of getting something for nothing. Asterisk carrot carrot asterisk. After trading the blood replenishing potions to Kyle Lewis, Faye Yardley also sent him a friend request on a whim. My 10 friend slots aren't even full yet, she thought. I can add him for the time being. I'll keep the useful ones and can always replace the ones who aren't. Since she was wide awake now, Faye Yardley decided she might as well sort out the dungeon hall. It wouldn't be right to keep Zachary Pierce waiting too long. A moment ago she'd been exhausted and sleepy, but now that she was buzzing with energy, it was better to get it over with sooner rather than later. Fortunately, Zachary Pierce wasn't the type to haggle over every little thing. In fact, he could even be described as generous. Their shared total of wood was 345. Faye Yardley sorted out the split, retracting an initial red envelope she had prepared for Zachary Pierce before sending him his final share. After the division, she was left with 147 wood. Added to her original 159 and the 270 from the point exchange, her grand total came to 576 wood. System: upgrade the raft to level 4. Do you wish to upgrade to a level 4 raft? Materials required: 576 500ths wood. Yes. Faye Yardley heard a ding-ding-dong-dong sound from outside. A few minutes later, the 3D diagram of her raft updated to show its area had expanded to 100 square meters. The rain canopy was now located under the eaves to the right of her door. It had originally extended past the edge of the raft, but now it was well within its borders. This will be inconvenient for fishing and pulling up treasure chests, she thought. Faye Yardley rearranged the new sections into a 10 by 10 square raft. She then shifted the wooden house 2.5 meters to the right, which was the perfect distance to accommodate the rain canopy. System: use the basic wood house upgrade voucher. While still inside the wooden house, Faye Yardley could feel it expanding, with distinct areas visibly forming. A moment later, the system announced the upgrade was complete. Faye Yardley discovered the wooden house had become a 30 square meter residence with 1 bedroom, 1 living room, and 1 bathroom. Opening the 3D model, she saw the wooden house now had a 5 by 6 layout and was situated right in the center of the raft. There was no need to move it. Its current position was perfect. The 2.5 meter wide canopy was flush with one end of the raft. With the wooden house being 5 meters wide, the remaining space on the other side of the raft was also exactly 2.5 meters. And since the wooden house was 6 meters long, there were 2 meters of space left at both the front and back ends of the raft. The only problem was that the current wooden fence was no longer enough to enclose the entire perimeter of the raft. She had originally crafted 15 meters of wooden fence, but now the total perimeter was 40 meters. Each meter of wooden fence required 2 pieces of wood to craft. She had to make more. Without it, she would feel insecure. Therefore, the 25-meter gap required 50 pieces of wood. She could directly install the wooden fences she crafted at the workbench onto the raft model via the light screen. After dealing with the exterior, Faye Yardley started planning the interior layout. For the 1-bedroom, 1 living room, 1 bathroom layout, she allocated 10 square meters to the bedroom, 5 to the bathroom, and the rest to the living room. The fireplace's position hadn't changed. It was still to the left of the entrance. She moved the workbench to the space between the fireplace and the bedroom wall. The bedroom was at the very back, and right now it contained nothing but a bed. The bathroom was placed opposite the workbench. Faye Yardley slapped her forehead. She remembered she had also redeemed 2 space stones and 1 warehouse blueprint. The prerequisite for building a warehouse was having a residence, and her wooden house now met the criteria perfectly. However, the warehouse blueprint had come from the silver treasure box in the dungeon. She needed to discuss its ownership with Zachary Pierce and couldn't just use it without permission. Although Zachary Pierce didn't know everything she had gotten, and had even said that as long as he got the peerless treasure sword, she could have everything else. Faye Yardley wasn't a greedy person. Maintaining a good cooperative relationship is more important than any short-term gain or loss. It's not like this dungeon is the last I'll ever see of this goddamn survival world. The warehouse would have to wait, but she now had all the materials for the backpack expansion times 10 diagrams and could use it. After confirming she wanted to use the diagrams, the cloth wrapped around Faye's body instantly vanished, which was quite exasperating. Fortunately, enough time had passed for her original clothes to dry by the fire, and she calmly put them back on. Sitting on a wooden crate in front of the fireplace, Faye Yardley sent a message to Zachary Pierce. Mr. Pierce, besides the sword and the small group chat coupon you took, the silver treasure box also contained workshop blueprint times 1, warehouse blueprint times 1, antidote potion recipe times 1, luminous pearl times 2, and water-repelling pearl times 1. Also, from looting and breaking down the great snake I got snake gallbladder times 1, energy-rich snake meat times 20, snake bone times 4, hardened snake skin times 3, damaged snake skin times 2, snake blood times 500 ml, poisonous fong times 2, ordinary island entry order times 1, and snake egg times 2. As for the other materials besides the wood and stones, Things like the iron blocks and high level would haven't been divided yet. Please tell me what you think. After a short wait, he replied, I already got the treasure sword and the small group chat coupon, plus most of the points. It's fine if you take the rest. At this stage, players could only add 10 friends and could only chat one-on-one. Although the small group chat coupon also limited the group to 10 members, it allowed them to discuss matters directly, greatly improving efficiency. And that sword, which the system called the Peerless Treasure Sword, was truly a powerful offensive weapon. Plus, with 3,000 points, he had really redeemed quite a few good items. From chatting with his buddies, he could tell he was the one who had gained the most from this dungeon. It was just that this girl, Faye Yardley, was too honest. In his opinion, getting the 2 items he received from a single silver treasure box was already hitting the jackpot. He never imagined there would be so much more. He was more than willing to concede a little to stay on good terms with a king of luck. If the girl was not only a king of luck but also an expert, then where would he even have a chance to be useful? Faye Yardley pouted and sked as she read his message. Time to start dividing the loot. I was originally thinking of taking 30%, but since you're being so generous, it wouldn't be too much for me to take half, right? She placed the workshop blueprint ×1, antidote potion recipe ×1, luminous pearl ×1, energy-rich snake meat ×10, snake bone ×2, damaged snake skin ×2, snake blood ×500 ml, poisonous fang ×1, and snake egg ×2 into a red envelope for Zachary Pierce. She also packed up a portion of the other materials for him. She kept quite a bit for herself, mainly because the warehouse blueprint was now hers. ******. System: use warehouse blueprint. Warehouse blueprint requires an independent residence. Wood 2650, crystal 3 halves, space stone 1/1. Insufficient materials. Cannot build. Short on wood again. Luckily, there was a trading market now. Faye Yardley traded some of the sea snake meat and fish meat she had caught for more wood. Once she had enough materials, she naturally started building. Please select a location for the warehouse. Faye Yardley thought for a moment and placed it on the bedroom wall to the right of the workbench. A log-colored cabinet, 2 meters long, 1 meter wide, and 3 meters high, immediately appeared. You've got to be kidding me. This looks more like a locker. Why call it a warehouse? When she opened the cabinet doors, she discovered the space inside seemed quite large. Moreover, the system prompted that materials stored in the warehouse would not spoil. What does that mean? Does food in my backpack spoil? Congratulations, player. Your answer is correct. Faye Yardley. Well, at least I've confirmed something I didn't know before. It's not a total loss. Furthermore, Faye Yardley discovered that as long as she was inside the house, she didn't need to open the cabinet doors. She could transfer items from her backpack to the warehouse and retrieve them directly through the system, which was very convenient. After directly collecting the materials that were still in the red envelope, Faye Yardley started sorting through them. She split everything that could be split evenly, and for things that couldn't, she took the extra one. She felt like she'd gotten a great deal. So happy. She transferred the things she wouldn't be using for now, like the high-level redwood, intermediate wood, high-level fir wood, and hardened snake skin, into the warehouse. She even kept only one piece of the energy-rich snake meat. She planned to make a fish spear, skewer the meat, and roast it over the fire to see what it felt like to be full of energy. Then there were the 2 attribute points from the first kill reward for the second-tier boss. Faye Yardley planned to wait until after she finished the basic body refining pills to see which of her stats were lacking and then allocate the points. If I'm going to take the body refining pill, should I take off the clothes I just put on? Faye Yardley sighed. She went to the workbench to make a fish spear first. I'll deal with it after I get some energy. After all, she checked her satiety value and saw it had dropped to 42. Taking the body refining pill in this state might affect the outcome, right? After roasting it for a short while, Faye Yardley smelled the strong aroma of food. Every cell in her body was screaming at her to eat it now. She couldn't help but swallow. Still, Faye Yardley insisted on flipping the meat to roast it a little longer. As soon as the surface of the snake meat started to turn golden brown and drip with fat, She immediately removed it from the fire. Placing it on a wooden plate, she poked it with her chopsticks, blew on it twice, and then, no longer caring about the heat, took a bite. Who would have thought the meat of that terrifying giant snake would be so sweet and succulent? It's just a little hot on my tongue. As soon as the snake meat hit her stomach, Faye Yardley could clearly feel a surge of energy building inside her. After she finished the large piece, her satiety value had maxed out at 100, but the energy still felt like it was just shy of something. If I want the benefits, I can't be afraid of overeating, she thought. She took out another piece of snake meat and placed it on the fire to roast. This time, Faye Yardley couldn't even wait for it to be roasted golden brown before she impatiently stuffed it into her mouth. She wolfed it down in huge bites. The energy in her body finally reached a critical point. Faye felt a pop inside her, and then a system notification chimed. Congratulations, player. For consuming snake meat rich in energy, your constitution has increased by 1. Holy crap! This stuff actually increases constitution. Is it because my base constitution was so low that I can still get a boost from eating snake meat, even after using a body refining pill? Faye Yardley decided to tell Zachary Pierce about it, since he had snake meat too. He should give it a try. At the same time, she'd remind him to sell her a couple of vials of antidote first, if he managed to make any. Zachary Pierce was stunned by the news. Something this good actually exists? As for giving her priority for the antidote, that was a given. He had already planned on making some and just giving her a few vials for self-defense. But my constitution is already over 10, he thought. I'd better pick a teammate with lower constitution to try it. I'd hate to waste something so valuable. As Zachary Pierce was sending his reply, Faye Yardley was lying on the ground, drenched in sweat and writhing in agony. Faye Yardley felt that this body-refining pill was even more painful than the first one, the torment more intense. She wondered if it was because her spirit had increased. The pain felt magnified, yet she could endure it longer. It was much harder to pass out than the last time. I don't know whether to laugh or cry. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts so much. Arg. Nothing could alleviate the pain, not even rolling on the ground and banging her head. After 3 long, agonizing minutes, Faye Yardley lay on the ground, unwilling to move even a muscle. Thankfully, all I have to do is think to call up the system. Her agility increased by 1, and her constitution increased by 2. I can't believe my constitution jumped all the way to 9. That's a huge surprise. Once she felt better, Faye Yardley thought, I can do this again. So she took another basic body refining pill and tossed it into her mouth. After consuming all 3 basic body refining pills, Faye Yardley was as drenched as if she'd been pulled from the water. System. Show me my attributes. Name, Faye Yardley. Gender, female. Age, 19. Talent, none. Constitution, 6+1. Snake meat, +3. Hey, you're pretty tough now. Strength, for +3, you're bursting with energy. Go pick a fight. Agility, 7+1. Who can even catch you now? Spirit, 8+1. Pulling an all-nighter won't even hurt you. Luck, 9. Charm, 8. Skills, none. Satiety value, 100. Don't you feel like you're about to burst? Looking at these attribute values, Faye Yardley thought, I could endure any amount of pain. It's only the second day of the game, and I've nearly maxed out my stats for the first tier. All attributes must reach 10, though luck and charm don't count toward tier promotion. System put both free attribute points into strength. In the end, her constitution was 10, and her strength reached 9. It's a shame the body refining pills add attribute points randomly, regardless of their grade. The lower the attribute value, the better the effect. The intermediate body refining pills can only be used after I reach the second tier, so it's safer to leave them in my inventory for now. Forcing herself to her feet, Faye Yardley stumbled out the door and into the rain again. Rain splattered against her face, mixing with the tears that slid down her cheeks. She didn't understand why her best friend from her old life, Haley Miles, would want to hurt her. The hike was her idea, and when I was pushed off the cliff, I think she was right behind me. She also had no idea why she had transmigrated into a book. She might seem incredibly lucky in this new world, but that didn't mean she wasn't terrified. The black and blue bruises she'd gotten from dodging the giant snake in the dungeon were still there. The truth was, she was terrified of pain. At that moment, she couldn't fight the urge to cry. In the rain, she could lie to herself and pretend she was strong. The rain was freezing cold, but Faye Yardley didn't want it to end. But then, just as it was coming down, the rain suddenly stopped. Faye Yardley's sorrow only deepened. Seriously, system? Are you trying to mess with my head? This is infuriating. Fuming, Faye Yardley went back into the house, but she still remembered to dry her hair, using the heat from the fireplace. Zachary Pierce. Yardley, you were right. Eating snake meat really does increase constitution. The lower a person's constitution, the more significant the effect. The small group chat was buzzing with activity. The other 3 members seemed to live in the chat, their messages easily topping 99+. Faye Yardley didn't even have the energy to scroll up through the history, so she just read the latest messages. Bonnie Callahan. I upgraded my raft to level 3 today. Now that I've built my wooden house, I finally have a place to put all my furniture. The mention of furniture reminded Faye Yardley that she had a simple sofa blueprint. She quickly went to the trading market and exchanged some of the food she'd caught for wood and cotton, then crafted the sofa. When the 2-seater sofa with natural wood armrests and a pure white cushion appeared, Faye Yardley's eyes lit up. She placed it in front of the fireplace, and the wooden crate could finally be honorably retired. After arranging the sofa, Faye Yardley suddenly remembered something. I have a bathroom now. Why did I run outside to shower in the rain? Was I afraid the bathroom wouldn't come with a shower? Her hair was just starting to dry. After a moment's thought, she turned and went to the bathroom in the back. To her surprise, it had separate wet and dry areas. Not only did the shower have hot water, but it even had a drying function for after she was done. The game world's defiance of logic amazed her once again. But it was for the best. Clean and fresh after a shower. This is so refreshing. As for the bruises that still faintly ached, I'll just ignore them. I don't have any medicine anyway, so I'll just have to endure it until they fade. Now, in a much better mood, Faye Yardley posted in the group chat, Bonnie Callahan, you should upgrade your wooden house with a basic wood house upgrade voucher. It'll come with its own bathroom with a separate wet and dry area. It's a huge quality of life improvement. Even though it was already 11:35 p.m., Bonnie Callahan replied instantly, Holy crap, for real? Quick, send a video so I can see it for myself. Faye Yardley actually used the system to film a video of her bathroom and sent it to the group chat. Wade Warren, did you get the basic wood house upgrade voucher by exchanging dungeon points for it? Bonnie Callahan, I'm jealous. So jealous. I want one so badly. My current situation is too embarrassing to even mention. Blush. Faye Yardley, yep, I exchanged for it in the point shop. It's only 100 points, and you don't need any extra raw materials to use it. It's a total bargain. Bonnie Callahan, I missed out big time. I'm going to search the trade market right now. Wade Warren, don't bother. I just checked, and no one is trading it. Hopefully, I'll earn enough points in the next dungeon to exchange for one, or get lucky and find one in a treasure chest. Leo Sloan, points are so hard to earn. I didn't even get 100 total points from this trial dungeon. Fortunately, I was able to exchange for some wood to upgrade my raft to level 3 and also got a tent. At least I have some shelter from the elements now. Wade Warren. The system announced that the leaderboards will go live after midnight. There will be 2 of them. A raft leaderboard and a personal combat power leaderboard. Each one will display the top 1,000 players, and there are rewards for getting on the list. Personal combat power is calculated based on your attributes and the bonuses from any weapons you have. The raft leaderboard considers not only the raft's level, but also the quality of its buildings and the completeness of its furniture. There might be other hidden criteria, but we'll have to wait until midnight to see. Wade Warren had said this before, so repeating it now was clearly for Faye Yardley's benefit. Faye Yardley, thanks, Mr. Warren. I'll see what else I can do and try to secure a spot on the leaderboards. Zachary Pierce. Thank you, Mr. Warren. Bonnie Callahan. And here I thought the poster above was just an icon. I didn't realize it was a real person who could talk. Faye Yardley chuckled when she saw the message. She stopped paying attention to the group chat and opened the trade interface, then began searching for anything she could think of. To her surprise, after typing table and chairs and filtering the results, several pages of trade listings appeared. She quickly scanned the listings and chose the most affordable blueprint, one for a small wooden square table with matching chairs. She also searched for curtain blueprints and was surprised to find not only those, but even pre-made curtains for sale. People were also selling blueprints for glass windows, but since Faye Yardley didn't have any glass, she had to pass. Through these trades, Faye Yardley successfully crafted a small wooden table and 2 wooden chairs before midnight. She placed the set against the wall, opposite the fireplace. Then she arranged the entire set of wooden dinnerware on the small table. She also added a comforter to her bed. She could lie on one half of it and pull the other half over herself as a blanket. Combined with the comfortable pillow she already had, she could finally get a good night's sleep. She created a window in the wall between her room and the living area, positioning it so the bottom sill was level with her storage cabinets. She didn't plan on putting windows in the exterior walls until the weather grew hot. That way, she could keep the door closed to keep the room as warm as possible. As for whether using the fireplace would lead to a lack of oxygen, it wouldn't. A game's fireplace didn't have to obey the laws of physics. Just after midnight, the system announced, as expected, that the leaderboards were now active. What Faye Yardley hadn't expected was that she had actually made it onto a leaderboard. Congratulations, player Faye Yardley. Your raft is on the leaderboard. Would you like to be anonymous? Yes. What's my rank? View raft leaderboard. First place. Anonymous. Raft level 4. Happiness index. 572. Second place. Logan Langdon. Raft level 4. Happiness index. 540. 10th place. Zachary Pierce. Raft level 4. Happiness index. 500. 14th place. Haley Miles. Raft level 3. Happiness index. 478. 51st place. Bonnie Callahan. Raft level 3. There were so many anonymous players. Of course, since Faye Yardley was one of them, she had no room to criticize anyone else. She just never expected her raft to actually be ranked number 1. She really wanted to laugh out loud. Did I actually get first place just by relying on my own good luck and getting carried by an expert? She looked at the avatar of the player in second place. Based on his looks, he's got to be the male lead, no doubt about it. But isn't the male lead a bit too quiet? I've never seen him say anything in the regional channel before. Of course, it's possible I just missed it. After all, I don't spend that much time watching the public chat. The fact that she was able to beat the original novel's male lead made Faye Yardley want to throw her head back and roar in triumph. Zachary Pierce ended up in 10th. Is it because I took too much advantage of him? Isn't Haley Miles a little too competent? She actually managed to squeeze into 14th place. And Bonnie Callahan's not bad either. Unfortunately, she didn't see Wade Warren's or Leo Sloan's names in the top 100, and she couldn't be bothered to look any further down the list. I still don't get what this is ranked by, Faye Yardley wondered. Happiness index? Is it because I crafted all that furniture? What a strange, hidden mechanic. I never got any notifications about a happiness index from crafting furniture. System. Open the Personal Combat Power Leaderboard. First place. Zachary Pierce, Personal Combat Power, 3,688. Second place. Logan Langdon, Personal Combat Power, 1,470. 991st place. Faye Yardley, Personal Combat Power, 419. Faye Yardley laughed and said, Logan Langdon is second again. I almost feel sorry for him. And for someone as weak as me to still scrape onto the bottom of the Combat Power leaderboard. Isn't this list kind of a joke? Meanwhile, the public channel was already being flooded with messages about the two new leaderboards. The personal combat power leaderboard didn't allow for anonymity, so Faye Yardley scrolled through the top 1,000 names one by one, looking to see if her brother was on the list. In the end, even her own name was on the list, but she still hadn't seen her brother's. It must mean he's really not in the same region as me. With so many different regions, who knows how long it'll be before I can get any news about him. When a way to contact other regions finally appears, I'll have to ask Zachary Pierce to help me look for him. Relying on myself would be like finding a needle in a haystack. It'd be way too hard. She glanced at the public chat and happened to see Haley Miles talking. Haley Miles. Oh no, not at all. I'm not as amazing as everyone is saying. My luck is just a little bit better than most, that's all. Please stop praising me, you're going to make me blush. I want to see the lovely Haley blush. I bet it's super cute. Mwah. Hope some of your good luck rubs off on me. Back off. Haley isn't someone you can just lust after. She's my wife. Wifey. Give me a hug. Send some of that good luck my way. That's enough out of you, poster above. If I couldn't see you're a woman, I wouldn't be able to hold back my 50-meter long sword. Doesn't anyone want to know how to contact Pierce and Langdon? Why do we never see them talk? Are all the top players so aloof? Ugh, how tacky. Faye Yardley quickly switched back to her group chat. It was much more normal and easier on the eyes. Bonnie Callahan. HHH. A master was right here with us all along. Pierce. Please look out for me. Wade Warren. Pierce, you're amazing. Number 1 on the combat power leaderboard, and you've got a huge lead on second place. Your raft level is in the top 10 too. Incredible. Leo Sloan. Hey Pierce, if you ever have anything you don't need anymore, we hope you'll consider trading with us. Zachary Pierce, sure. Wade Warren, you said it. A master's cast-offs are treasures to the rest of us. At Faye Yardley, our group leader is a dark horse, too, making it into the top 1,000 in combat power out of millions of people. And Bonnie is really strong, too. Her raft level is 51. Faye Yardley, you're too kind. I don't even know what the rewards are yet. Mr. Warren, do you know? Wade Warren. Not yet. They said it'll be announced at 6 a.m. when the treasure chests start spawning. Faye Yardley, okay, thanks. I'm gonna bed then. Good night, everyone. After turning off the screen, Faye Yardley did just that, crawling back into bed, pulling the comforter over herself, and falling asleep the moment her head hit the pillow. She had no idea that on another level 4 raft, Logan Langdon was staring at both leaderboards. He slammed his fist on the wooden table and clicked his tongue. I can't believe a single region is already crawling with so many hidden masters. Good thing Zachary Pierce didn't hide his name just like me. Otherwise, I would have assumed he was number 1 on the raft leaderboard as well. Looks like I need to contact the others from my company as soon as possible. With their help, I'll be able to progress much faster. Seeing the messages on the regional channel, he had also taken note of Haley Miles. He stroked the 2-day-old stubble on his chin. Luckier than the average person, huh? Maybe I'll have someone try to make contact with her. Meanwhile, Zachary Pierce was gazing at the peerless treasure sword beside him as if it were a peerless beauty. He was certain this was the reason his combat power had been boosted so dramatically. If that young lady Faye Yardley had this sword, her rank would probably shoot straight to number 1 too. I wonder what the rewards announced at dawn will be. If they're transferable and suitable for her, I'll give them all to her. Faye Yardley slept soundly until 5:30 in the morning, when the system alarm she'd set woke her. The moment the alarm went off, Faye Yardley's eyes snapped open. She yawned and got out of bed. After a quick wash in the bathroom, she emerged, fully energized, and sat on the living room sofa. The fire in the fireplace was still burning. Faye Yardley thought for a moment, then stepped out of the wooden house to feel the temperature. When she returned, she tossed 2 more lumps of coal into the fireplace. The temperature really does seem to be dropping. The clothes she had gotten dirty and hastily washed the previous evening were already dry. She planned to cook the 8 dumplings for breakfast. She poured the rainwater from the large iron pot into an empty wooden crate. Luckily, the crate was high quality and didn't leak a single drop. She shoved the iron pot into the fireplace, placing it directly on the fire. While I wait for the treasure chests to spawn, she thought, I can search for some kitchen or stove blueprints. Otherwise, it's just too much of a hassle to cook anything. Fortunately, the trading market didn't disappoint. Items that weren't available before midnight were there now. Some people are just so cunning, she mused. She traded a basic iron axe, 2 torches, and 2 bottles of mineral water for a basic integrated kitchen blueprint. She then discovered the prerequisites: a residence with enough space, intermediate wood, stones, shells, and iron blocks. Great! I have all of those things. Faye Yardley happily installed the kitchen against the wall to the right of the entrance. After moving the small square table and wooden chair, an L-shaped open kitchen appeared before her very eyes. It really is an integrated kitchen, she thought, impressed. It even comes with a small refrigerator and a dishwasher. Luckily, the rim of the large iron pot wasn't hot yet, so Faye Yardley could lift it with her bare hands and place it on the new stove. When she turned on the burner, an automatic range hood switched on above it. My quality of life is getting better and better. Just as Faye Yardley finished her hot dumplings, the time reached 6 a.m. sharp. Good morning, players. Congratulations to everyone who made it onto the leaderboards. The current rankings will last for 10 days, after which a new set of leaderboards will be posted. Raft leaderboard rewards: first place, temporary +2 luck value for the ranking period; second to 5th place, temporary +2 strength; 6th to 10th place, temporary +1 constitution; 11th to 20th place, 200 iron blocks; 21st to 50th place, 200 wood; 51st to 100th place, 80 stones. Personal combat power leaderboard rewards: first place, temporary +5 constitution for the ranking period; second place, temporary +4 constitution; 800 th, 1000 th place, 50 wood. Faye Yardley tilted her head, confused. An extra 2 points to my luck value? So my luck is 11 now? Isn't that like off the charts? She pulled the fishing rod from her backpack, dashed under the awning, and cast her line. Whether it was because her luck value was now through the roof or not, she felt a bite the instant the line hit the water. With a sharp tug, she hauled in a wooden crate. She muttered to herself, I should open this and see if the increased luck value makes the contents of treasure chests better or more plentiful. After she opened the wooden crate, obtained a spread of home-style dishes X1, roasted chicken X2, peach blossom wine X1. Whoa, it really did change. It really did. For the next while, Faye Yardley became a relentless fishing machine. And with her increased strength and constitution, she found that the high-intensity work of hauling in her catches didn't tire her out as easily as before. Beep, beep, beep. She answered the call from Zachary Pierce, and his clear, joyful voice came through. Yardley, I just caught a huge lobster. I'll send it over to you for lunch. Faye Yardley didn't stand on ceremony. Thanks, Mr. Pierce, she said directly. By the way, if you fish up an iron treasure box or a silver treasure chest, you should let me open it for you. My luck is through the roof right now. All right, if I catch one, I'll be counting on you. After hanging up, Faye Yardley received a red envelope containing the lobster just a moment later. Having drifted to the edge of the raft without realizing it, Faye Yardley was just about to happily claim her red envelope when something she'd hooked in the sea gave a sudden, violent tug. She lost her balance and plunged headfirst into the ocean. After swallowing a couple of mouthfuls of seawater, Faye Yardley took the water-repelling pearl from her backpack. Instantly, a 1-meter radius sphere around her became a water-free zone. This feels so magical, she thought. It was as if the water itself had learned to part for her. The small fish, shrimp, and jellyfish in the sea were also pushed away by the parting water. Wow, this is so cool. She was holding the fishing rod in one hand and the water-repelling pearl in the other. After a moment of thought, she tucked the water-repelling pearl into a pocket in her clothes. The effect wasn't diminished at all, and now her hand was free. She felt another tug on the line. Gripping the rod with both hands, Faye Yardley began to strain against it from within the sea. Except for the strange lack of solid footing, it felt just as natural as being on land. The struggle was actually pulling her deeper and deeper. Just as she hauled a massive, exhausted fish past her, her feet touched something solid. Not only did she successfully break it down and get high-quality, pollution-free fish meat, but she also got fish maw on her first try. Those 2 points added to her luck value made Faye Yardley absolutely ecstatic. Her already high luck was now even higher. The effect was just way too obvious. She looked down at her feet and saw a silvery white treasure chest wedged in a coral reef. Whoa! It's like a gift from the heavens. What's guarding this treasure chest? It can't just be the coral, can it? Can this water-repelling pearl really double as a protective shield to keep monsters away? Faye Yardley's mind was filled with strange thoughts, but her actions were swift. She stored her fishing rod in her backpack, took a step back, then squatted and quickly touched the treasure chest to collect it. It all went so smoothly it was unbelievable. Back in the dungeon, she'd had to fight a huge boss just to get her hands on a silver treasure chest. But this was even easier than collecting a wooden treasure chest. Then her gaze fell on the coral reef. Such beautiful coral. Some big spender is bound to like it, she thought. And even if I can't sell it, it would make for great interior decoration. Who knows, it might even raise my happiness index. She glanced around. The red, pink, orange, and white ones were all gorgeous. And so, Faye Yardley began the process of breaking off coral with her bare hands and kicking it with her feet. If any environmentalists saw her now, she'd be verbally crucified. But out here, who was going to stop her? While busy breaking off coral, she also picked up several spider conches the size of her forehead, not even bothering with the smaller ones. She also saw sea cucumbers, but the things were so soft and limp that the sight alone made her skin crawl, so she subconsciously ignored them. Fortunately, none of the marine life attacked her. A few schools of fish even circled her several times. System-friendly reminder. Dear player, the single-use time limit for your water-repelling pearl is about to be reached. Please manage your time underwater accordingly. Faye Yardley froze for a second when she heard the notification before it dawned on her. So the water-repelling pearl has a time limit for each use, she realized. Did I forget to check when I first took it out after falling in the water? Doesn't even give you an instruction manual for the items. The system is such a troll. A quick glance showed a 10-minute countdown. Faye Yardley didn't dare waste another second. She was afraid that if she didn't make it back to the raft in time, her swimming skills, or lack thereof, would just end with her sinking to the bottom of the sea. It was only as she started scrambling for the surface that she realized she had unknowingly used the water-repelling pearl to walk deep into the ocean. The only reason she could see her surroundings was either because of the game's default visual settings, which let her see as far as her eyes could reach, or because the water-repelling pearl itself came with a function for viewing the immediate area. Surrounded by water on all sides, even though the water-repelling pearl had created a land-like environment for her, Faye Yardley found her hands automatically starting to make swimming motions as she walked. The way her legs kept trying to tread water looked ridiculous, and she eventually tripped over her own feet, falling flat on her back. It was only then, lying suspended in the water, that she realized what a dumb thing she'd just done. Luckily, if no one saw it, it's not embarrassing. If I don't say anything, no one will ever know. She had thought 10 minutes would be more than enough time to get back to the raft. But when she looked up with 2 minutes to spare, all she saw was shimmering, multicolored light filtering down through the water and a faint, floating black shadow. That had to be her raft. She broke into a full sprint in that direction, but in the end, she still choked on a mouthful of seawater. Gulp. Thankfully, she was able to surface. But with her impressive swimming skills, despite the raft being only 2 or 3 meters away, it still took her more than 10 minutes to finally touch it. By the time she climbed onto the raft, she was completely drained of energy. Still, she forced herself to go to the bathroom and rinse off. Only after feeling fresh and clean did she finally lie down on the sofa to recover her strength. She took out a roast chicken and began to gnaw on it. Can't waste this time, she thought. I'll eat and see if there's any news. Maybe seeing how everyone else is doing will make this chicken taste even better. System. Open the regional channel. Help! Can you animals leave some bandage hemostatic pills for people who actually need them? Stop buying them up the second they appear. I jumped into the ocean to fight monsters just for a few more supplies. You think my life is easy? Yeah, you've got it the hardest. There's already a low supply of those on the market, and there are tons of people. You think you're the only one who needs them? Can't you just fish for chests quietly on your raft? Who's to blame when you go looking for trouble? You can't always get food from opening chests. You'd starve to death. He's just trying his best to survive, same as anyone else. Don't be so hostile. Anyone who needs high-level furniture blueprints, head to the trading market. Guaranteed to increase your raft's happiness index. Seeing this message, Faye Yardley immediately had the system switch to the trading interface and searched for high-level furniture. 2 blueprints immediately popped up. One for a high-level redwood bed, and one for a high-level princess bed. But when she saw the asking price, Faye Yardley cursed the shameless profiteer under her breath and decided to ignore it. High-level redwood was already incredibly rare, and they wanted it as payment? She wasn't an idiot. She'd rather just fish for treasure chests and open them herself. Still, she thought for a moment and left a message, offering to trade Coral for the blueprint. If they agreed, they could make the deal. Oh, right, she remembered. I still have some unopened chests in my backpack. After eating most of the roast chicken, Faye Yardley put the rest in the small kitchen fridge. She washed her hands and decided to get back to fishing for treasure chests, having wasted so much time earlier. From then until 6 p.m., Faye Yardley became a ruthless, rod-casting machine. In total that day, she had harvested 15 wooden treasure chests, 3 iron treasure boxes, and 1 silver treasure chest, plus a ton of seafood. It was truly a bountiful harvest, enough to make her laugh out loud with joy. She wasn't in a hurry to open the chests. Lying on the sofa, she planned to wait until her spirit was fully recovered before she started opening them. Zachary Pierce. Yardley, I only managed to fish up 1 iron treasure box all day. Could I trouble you to open it for me? Red envelope. Oh, okay. Just a moment. It was her own offer, so Faye Yardley had no intention of backing out. She just figured Zachary Pierce's luck value must be pitifully low. Otherwise, how could he have only caught a single iron treasure box all day? After getting up and washing her hands, Faye Yardley accepted 2 red envelopes. One contained a massive lobster, so big it was beyond her imagination, almost the size of a newborn baby. Good thing it's not alive, Faye thought. Otherwise, I don't think I could take it. Breaking it down yielded delicious lobster meat X10, lobster claws X2, lobster tamale X2. The other red envelope contained the iron treasure box. Faye Yardley thought for a moment and placed a video call to Zachary Pierce. He answered, "Hey, what's up? Watch me work my magic." While Zachary Pierce was still completely baffled, he saw Faye Yardley on the other side of the call press her palms together and chant, "Spirits of heaven and earth, hear my plea. Daddy system, work your magic for me. Obtain Dungeon 3 Fragment X3, High-Level Coffee Table Blueprint X1, Fire Pit Crafting Blueprint X1. Faye Yardley took the items out one by one, showing them to Zachary Pierce. "Whoa, Faye!" Zachary Pierce exclaimed. "Your luck is off the charts. You must be the one who ranked first on the raft, right?" "Hee hee. I told you I was feeling lucky today," she said. "Please don't tell anyone, Mr. Pierce. Don't worry. I'm not a blabbermouth." After sending the items to Zachary Pierce in a red envelope, Faye Yardley prepared to open her own chests. She started with the silver treasure chest. Obtained Talent Stone X1, High-Level Water Purifier X1, Large Garbage Recycling Bin X1, Space Stone X2, One-Time Cross-Regional Communication Device X1, High-Level Wood X10. Huh! I can't believe I got a Talent Stone. Faye Yardley held the Talent Stone in her hand, and a system prompt indicated it was usable. Her attributes currently showed she had no talent, so of course Faye Yardley wasn't going to pass this up. She used it immediately. It dissolved into a ray of white light that shot between her brows. Then, a system prompt appeared. Congratulations, player. Talent unlocked. You have acquired the double good luck talent. Ahak! I'm gonna be rich. Faye Yardley thought her new talent was absolutely insane. Who could possibly be stronger or luckier than me? Oops. I really took a loss on Mr. Pierce's iron chests. Hehe. Too bad for him he doesn't know. Player Faye Yardley has obtained a talent stone and officially unlocked a personal talent. A server-wide system announcement will now commence. Do you wish to remain anonymous? Yes, yes, yes. Server-wide announcement. Congratulations to the player from Viridia, XXX, for being the first in the world to unlock a personal talent. Reward, free attribute points +1, reputation +1000, x3. The golden announcement dominated everyone's screen, pinned at the top and repeating 3 times. It sent the entire world into a frenzy. Holy crap, who's so amazing? I thought talents were something you started with. I was even a little bummed that I didn't have one. I never thought there'd be a prerequisite to unlock it. Can anyone tell me how? I want one too. Aw, my great Viridia is the best. The first in the world to unlock a talent. It should be much easier to get one from now on. Right? Aishable. It's not someone from my great Han Republic. I don't believe it, I don't believe it. That shameless Viridia must have stolen it from one of my countrymen. Shit. I already got a talent stone, and I'm still not the first. Ha ha ha, you guys won't believe this. I was holding a talent stone and was still 1 second too slow. It was 1 second of heaven, 1 second of hell. Second place gets jack squat. Speaking of which, why are there so many scumbags from other countries in our Viridia region? Second place isn't completely empty-handed. Besides the talent, you also get a ball, a hair, a dick. Absolutely nothing. To the person above, for God's sake, have some humanity. The messages on the public channel never stopped, which let Faye Yardley know that she wasn't the only one who had found a talent stone. Other people have their own skills too. Hee hee. The reward is all mine. Good thing I stayed anonymous, or I'd be flamed to death. Faye Yardley was so happy she wanted to twirl in circles. She took the 1 free attribute point and, after some thought, added it to strength. Now, just like her constitution, her strength was at 10. Now I guess I can be considered a pro gamer. She hummed. Today is a good day. Everything you wish for comes true. Faye Yardley felt the song was especially fitting for the moment. After humming a few lines, she took a deep breath, muttered a few words under her breath, and continued opening her chests. Obtained Sharp Dagger X1, Ordinary Harpoon X1, Wood X50, Stones X30, Cotton X5, Double Good Luck Talent triggered. All items obtained have been doubled. Aha! Faye Yardley couldn't help but scream again, jumping up and down in excitement. Reading about the talent and seeing it actually work right before her eyes were 2 completely different experiences. Double Good Luck. This is my double good luck in action. Obtained Oil X10, Intermediate Log Coffee Table Blueprint X1, Small Wooden Boat Blueprint X1, Wood X30, Double Good Luck Talent triggered. All items obtained have been tripled. What is happiness? This is the joy of a super multiplier. So the Double Good Luck Talent doesn't just double things. It can triple them too. Maybe it can even go up to 4 or 5 times. Oh my God. I'm about to faint from happiness. As she said this, Faye Yardley really did fall back onto the sofa, giggling like an idiot. The wave of happiness was so intense, she could barely handle it. Pressing her hands against her wildly pounding heart, Faye Yardley felt like she was truly the system's favorite. For a side character like me to have such insane luck, it's completely illogical and makes no sense. But I love it. With this talent, I'm guaranteed at least double the loot every time I open a chest. If I open chests for other people, I'd get a copy of whatever they get. But never mind, I have more than enough of my own chests to open. For now, besides Mr. Pierce, no one else is worth my time. And this kind of talent has to be kept secret. What if there's a large-scale event in the future where the system gathers everyone together? If someone knows about my talent, I'll definitely be in danger. Calm down, calm down. Faye Yardley didn't expect that after telling herself to calm down. She would fall fast asleep, right there on the sofa. She woke with a start to find it was 11:47 p.m. Hearing the wind howling outside, Faye Yardley frowned slightly. She rubbed her stomach, feeling famished. Seeing that the fireplace only had about 2 hours of fuel left, she threw in another 3 lumps of coal and 5 pieces of charcoal. She went to push open the door of the wooden house and felt a strong resistance. But with her strength now at 10, she easily pushed the wooden door open. A fierce gust of wind swept in, echoing through the house. She immediately slammed the door shut, cutting off the gale. My head still feels fuzzy, Faye Yardley thought. Is the wind really this strong? Aren't we still in the protection period? Those who don't have shelter yet are probably in for a rough night. Although she had this thought, Faye Yardley didn't do anything. After all, there was nothing she could do. She brought up the system screen and saw the total player count in the bottom left corner ticking down every second. She checked the trading market. It seemed people were constantly listing new tents, and the prices weren't unreasonable. After 3 days of fishing for chests, plus the rewards from that one bonus dungeon, if they still can't afford a tent, then I guess they were fated to not make it any further. It was surprising enough that the public channel was still so lively this late, but even her small private chat group was buzzing with conversation. Someone had even added her. Just as Faye Yardley was about to check the group chat, she was surprised by an incoming private message. Kyle Lewis. Miss Yardley, are you asleep? If not, could you please make me a few more blood-replenishing potions? It's an emergency. Faye Yardley didn't reply immediately, staring at the message in a daze. Isn't Kyle Lewis connected to Haley Miles? In the original novel, I think Kyle Lewis was one of Haley Miles's lackeys, right? I didn't think of it before. I already agreed to make the blood-replenishing potion, so what's done is done. But if he's connected to Haley Miles, he doesn't deserve a spot on my friends list anymore. Faye Yardley wasn't one for pointless speculation, so she asked him directly, "Let me ask you something. What's your relationship with Haley Miles?" On the other end, Kyle Lewis was clearly taken aback for a moment. Unsure if her question was a good or bad thing, he decided to tell the truth. Does having made one trade count as a relationship? Faye Yardley breathed a sigh of relief. Maybe they get connected later in the novel I read, but at least for now they aren't, right? The future isn't set in stone. After all, the fact that I was inexplicably thrown into this book's world proves things are already different from the start. So she said, "Then that means no relationship. Send the materials over. I'll make it for you." Kyle Lewis was young, not stupid. He immediately knew that Faye Yardley and Haley Miles must not get along. Thankfully, he hadn't tried to be clever and claim they were close friends. He quickly sent over the materials he had prepared via a red envelope. They had traded once before, so there was a small foundation of trust between them. He felt that when asking for a favor, there was no need to go through the formal trade interface again. Faye Yardley didn't delay after receiving the materials. She went straight to her workbench, placed 6 sets of materials for blood-replenishing potions inside, and clicked Start Crafting. The crafting process finished after nearly a minute. When Faye Yardley reached out to collect the items, a system notification popped up. Obtained blood-replenishing potion X6. Talent triggered. Harvest doubled. Total obtained. Blood-replenishing potion X12. Stunned for a second, Faye Yardley couldn't help but let out another gasp of surprise. She jumped up and down on the spot in excitement. "Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Even items made at the workbench can trigger my talent. This, ha 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 ha." Happiness had come so suddenly and in such abundance today. Fortunately, Faye Yardley still had a sliver of rationality left. She quickly sent 3 blood-replenishing potions over to Kyle Lewis. Good heavens, am I Faye Yardley, the survival system's chosen one? She covered her mouth, but she couldn't suppress the smile spreading across her face. She didn't know what other people's talents were like, but she was pretty sure hers was one of a kind. Time to open the chests. Time to open the chests. She still had 16 chests left to open. Obtained complete set of white porcelain dinnerware X1, cotton socks X3, soft mattress X1. Talent double good luck triggered. All rewards from this chest are doubled. Obtained wood X30, Chinese cabbage X2, iron shovel X1, tofu buns X5. Talent double good luck triggered. All rewards from this chest are doubled. Obtained women's down jacket X2, women's down pants X1, men's gloves X1, women's underwear set X1. Talent triggered. Rewards tripled. Obtained iron block X20, stones X20, wood X35, copper X10. Talent triggered. Rewards doubled. Obtained mineral water X10, fried dough sticks X6, savory tofu pudding X2, sweet tofu pudding X2, original milk tea X3. Talent triggered. Rewards doubled. Obtained raincoat X1, rain boots X1, poncho X1, wash basin X1. Talent triggered. Rewards doubled. The pleasant system notifications kept coming. By this point, Faye Yardley's mindset had actually calmed down quite a bit. What can I say? I'm a seasoned veteran now. I've seen it all. Looking at the last chest before her, Faye Yardley rubbed her hands together and took a deep breath. System Daddy, you have to love me. Open. Obtained Angel brand sanitary pads X3, small water storage tank X1, body warmers X20. Talent double good luck triggered. All rewards from this chest are quintupled. 5 times. Faye Yardley felt that happiness could indeed strike with even greater force. Then it hit her. Sanitary pads. If you hadn't mentioned it, I would have forgotten I get my period every month. In a world like this, if you got your period and didn't have any pads, the smell of blood would probably attract a swarm of sea monsters, right? Even if they don't attack the raft, just seeing them circling would be terrifying. Faye Yardley muttered to herself. It was already hard enough, and now they're adding another layer of difficulty for all of us women because of our biology. If she hadn't gotten sanitary pads from a chest, she would have assumed she was truly in a game world, where people were like the avatars in games from her previous life, without any gender-based biological differences. The only difference would be the male and female character models, as long as you stacked up your attributes. Suddenly, the good fortune of a 5-time critical hit didn't feel so great anymore, and the items she got lost their appeal. System. Open the regional channel. Faye Yardley. Let me just ask a quick question. We've been in the game for 3 days and are about to start the 4th. Have any of the ladies here gotten their period? I just realized my time of the month is coming up, and I'm wondering what we're supposed to do if we get it and don't have enough sanitary pads. Damn, girl, don't say it, seriously don't say it. Now that you've mentioned it, I'd completely forgotten. Mine's coming soon too. No way, we're in a game world and we still can't escape this. Don't panic, person above. I was on my period when I entered, and it stopped after I got here. Me too. Looks like we won't have to worry about this every month anymore. Faye Yardley. Have you guys ever thought that maybe it's only gone because we're still in the novice protection period? I just got a pack of sanitary pads from a chest, and I'm worried it won't be enough when the time comes. Angel_brand_sanitary_pads.jpg. The moment Faye Yardley sent that message, the regional channel fell briefly silent. Seriously? Has no one thought about this? I just gave everyone a heads up. Why did they all go quiet? Whatever, if they don't want to talk, they don't have to. At least I gave them a warning. You women really are a handful. If Faye Yardley can get sanitary pads, then others should just open more treasure chests. The problem will eventually solve itself. The guy above must be single. What fucking good is one pack going to do? Getting even one pack is already considered incredible luck. Isn't it? There are nearly 1 million people in this region. Who else has gotten any? Haley Miles. Everyone, don't worry. Just because someone found them doesn't mean our periods will definitely come back. Let's just wait until the protection period is over before we discuss it. TCH, what a jinx. Faye Yardley muttered upon seeing Haley Miles's name. She immediately switched to her active group chat. The chat was filled with a string of screams from Bonnie Callahan. Faye Yardley, stop spamming or I'm going to mute group members. Bonnie Callahan, Faye, my beautiful group leader, did you really only get one pack? If you have extra, I'm willing to trade other things for them. Faye Yardley, I don't have extra. Besides, do you really think this is something I'd ever have too much of? Bonnie Callahan, HHH, what am I going to do then? Help me. I was on the second day of my period when I entered the game. What if it only disappeared for the protection period and comes back right after? What am I supposed to do? Leo Sloan. Someone from the Langdons just said in the regional public channel that they got the crafting recipe for Love Heart brand sanitary pads. Although only the blueprint had appeared, at least there was hope of eventually crafting the item. It gave a glimmer of hope to everyone who needed it. That one piece of news was enough to alleviate most people's anxiety. However, this did nothing to alleviate Bonnie Callahan's anxiety. She had been planning to go to sleep, but now she was wide awake. There wasn't even a hint of a sanitary pad on the trading market. Other than the pack in Faye Yardley's possession, there was no news of anyone else having the physical item. But as a fellow girl, she understood that Faye Yardley needed them herself. Now, looking at the messages on the public channel, she saw that, led on by certain individuals, people were actually starting to flame Faye Yardley for bringing up the topic. They accused her of being unable to stand seeing others well, deliberately showing off to provoke mass anxiety and leave people too demoralized to fish for chests the next day. Her intentions were sinister, they claimed. Some even guessed she was a member of the Langdon group, deliberately raising the subject as a form of advance advertising for the Langdons. Of course, rational people were still the majority. It was just that most of them couldn't be bothered to engage with the trolls. Bonnie Callahan wanted to transform into a warrior to defend Faye Yardley, but each person could only send 3 messages to the public channel every 12 hours. The restriction made her so furious she could spit. All she could do was urge others in their private group chat to speak up on their leader's behalf. She wasn't sure who had stepped up, but the tone on the public channel really did turn around. Faye Yardley was oblivious to all of this. As soon as she finished speaking, she had started organizing her haul. The slight gloominess from realizing her period would likely be a recurring issue was quickly dispelled by her other gains. First, she fitted the soft mattress onto her wooden bed and lay down to try it out. It really was a world of difference. She started feeling drowsy the moment she lay down. This is so comfortable. She quickly scrambled off the bed. She couldn't sleep just yet. Wait a minute. She seemed to recall getting a phone that could make cross-regional calls. Tapping her head, she quickly rummaged through her storage to find it. Instructions for the one-time use cross-regional phone. Enter the correct region number and the correct name. Duplicates can be filtered. Maximum call duration, 10 minutes. Faye Yardley sighed as she read the instructions. I knew finding my brother wouldn't be that easy. First, she would have to know which region he was in. Having the same name wasn't a problem since she could filter through the results herself. The name was accompanied by a profile picture, after all. But if someone who looks identical and has the same name is also in the same region, well, I guess you can't fight that kind of destiny, she mused. She put the phone back into her storage. She placed all the raw materials like wood and iron blocks, as well as the food and water she couldn't consume right away, into her storage. Perfect. Each item type only takes up a single slot, she thought, pleased. The down jacket was lightweight, but she could immediately feel its warmth the moment she put it on. A good find. She put it away as she didn't need it for the time being. She had 4 pairs of men's gloves. I'll keep 2 pairs for my brother and sell the other 2. What made Faye Yardley's smile widen was that she now had 4 brand new sets of underwear to change into. My personal quality of life really has improved by leaps and bounds. She had 3 blueprints for an intermediate log coffee table. After checking her materials, Faye Yardley decided to use one. An elegant and beautifully crafted coffee table appeared before her. She placed it between the sofa and the fireplace. Now she would be able to eat while warming herself by the fire. Finally, there were the 6 small water storage towers from her critical hit loot drop. Each one could hold 1.5 tons of water. Paired with the high-level water purifier she had also received, she would never have to worry about not having water to drink, even if she couldn't find any more bottled water. As for the water that came from the bathroom tap, Faye Yardley had never even considered drinking it. She had come from a peaceful, civilized world and hadn't been short on water since arriving. As such, her mindset was still fixed on the functional distinctions between different types of water. Some water was drinkable and some was not. It was as simple as that. But where would be a good place to install the water storage towers? Faye Yardley thought about it and fiddled around for a while before discovering that the purifier could be installed on the kitchen wall. The water towers were even more amazing. They could be integrated directly into the modular kitchen, though a single kitchen could accommodate a maximum of 2 small towers. After Faye Yardley clicked to use them, the kitchen's appearance remained unchanged, but water now flowed when she opened the faucet. As for whether the water came from the kitchen itself, the system gave a clear answer. It was pure water, produced by the fusion of the purifier and water tower with the kitchen. Alright, you're the system, you call the shots. System, can I ask a question? If I hadn't installed the purifier and water tower, would the modular kitchen provide its own water? Dear player, please feel at ease using the modular kitchen. Even without any additional installations, it will produce 500 milliliters of water per day. A thought suddenly struck Faye Yardley. System, the water tower is empty. Does that mean it will fill up automatically? The water storage tower does not draw water automatically, but the high-level water purifier does. Water filtered by the high-level water purifier will automatically flow into the water tower to be stored. Once the tower is full, the purifier will suspend its operations. Thank you. That's a relief. Faye Yardley had no intention of selling the 4 extra towers. What if her brother needed them in the future? Besides, she'd need water if she expanded her raft to grow vegetables. Selling them would be easy. Buying them back, not so much. Besides, it's unlikely any players have a need for them right now. They can just sit in my storage, she thought. She also had 3 small wooden boat blueprints. She decided to learn one at her workbench first. As for why she would need a small wooden boat when she was already on a raft, Faye Yardley vaguely recalled the reason. Rafts drifted slowly, but with a small boat, she could use oars to row to nearby places she wanted to visit. It would be useful for landing on islands or salvaging materials from places that were a bit farther away from the raft. After a moment of thought, she sent a message to Zachary Pierce. Mr. Pierce, interested in a small wooden boat blueprint? Image. Unexpectedly, he was also awake at this late hour and replied instantly. Zachary Pierce. Yes. Just tell me what you want for it. Wood. I'm short on wood. All right. Although Faye Yardley felt her level 4 raft was big enough for her alone, it wouldn't be large enough if she wanted to start farming. Besides, a bigger raft offered more protection against risks. It seems like I'm always short on wood, she mused. Crafting a small wooden boat required 20 wood, which she didn't lack. I'll make 2 for now and keep them in my inventory, she decided. She stretched her back. In what felt like the blink of an eye, it was already nearly 1 in the morning. Faye Yardley did a quick wash-up and went straight to bed. With the soft mattress, the incredibly comfortable pillow, and the quilt wrapped snugly around her, she had a truly comfortable sleep. When her alarm clock woke her again, the bed felt incredibly cozy, but Faye Yardley still forced herself to get up on time through sheer willpower. When she went out and opened the door, a blast of cold air hit her face. You've got to be kidding me. The temperature dropped this fast? Let's see. Today should be June 4th on the survival calendar. Getting colder instead of hotter in June. This is exactly what you'd expect from a game world. Faye Yardley muttered her complaint and closed the door. She decided to first cook a pot of energy-rich snake meat soup to start her day off with vitality. After breakfast, Faye Yardley felt full of energy and didn't even find it cold when she went outside. She lowered a small wooden boat into the water from the side of her raft. It really is a small wooden boat. It could seat 3 people at most. Any more and there'd probably be no room to sit, only stand. But since the rafts hadn't been merged and each one only held a single person, the small boat was more than enough to go farther out and fish for treasure chests. Upgrading to a level 5 raft required 2,000 wood. Even with her double good luck talent, she was still quite a ways off. However, her talent had helped her would count break the 600 mark yesterday. So if she worked hard today, she might just have a chance. Plus, Zachary Pierce still hasn't paid the wood for the small boat blueprint. Who knows? Maybe I'll be able to upgrade the raft tonight. If so, will I be the first person to get a level 5 raft? Hee hee. Filled with these pleasant thoughts, Faye Yardley hopped into the small boat and started to row. She spun in place for a while before figuring out how to row forward correctly. If the water weren't so cold, she would have even planned to learn how to swim. After all, sea monsters wouldn't normally appear during the novice protection period, so it was still safe. After the protection period ended, learning to swim would be a lot more difficult. But, Faye Yardley thought, it's not like I absolutely have to get into the icy water. After rowing for half an hour, Faye Yardley stopped and began fishing for treasure chests. System. Open the regional channel. Dear player, you have currently left your raft and cannot use the regional channel function. Faye Yardley was speechless. The past couple of days, I'd occasionally glance at the public chat to pass the time while fishing for chests. But now it doesn't work just because I've left the raft. System. Open the group chat. Bonnie Callahan. Oh my gosh. Why did the temperature drop so much today? Can't be more than 10 degrees out here, right? And are the treasure chests spawning later and later? It's been over half an hour and I haven't seen a single one. Wade Warren. The system says the outdoor temperature is 11 degrees Celsius right now. The sun is out today, so I imagine the temperature will rise in a bit. If you don't have long sleeves and pants, you can go out fishing a little later. Don't catch a cold. That'll only make things worse. No need to rush for treasure chests. They'll show up eventually. Leo Sloan. Do some stretching and warm-up exercises inside, and you won't feel so cold. It was actually colder in the middle of the night. This temperature isn't even that low now. Bonnie Callahan. Thanks, you too. If you fish up anything you don't need today, you can trade it with me. Faye Yardley just watched them chat, lurking silently without participating. She felt a tug on her fishing rod. A bite already? She thought and began to reel in the line. Before long, a familiar wooden treasure chest came into view. She pulled it to the side of the boat and stored it directly in her backpack. But this was just the beginning. After that, Faye Yardley didn't have much time to pay attention to the group chat. She fell into a rhythm of casting her line and reeling it in. Perhaps this is the simple joy of an avid angler. The sun grew more intense. Faye Yardley's haul was already sizable, and her arms were starting to ache, so she decided it was best to head back to the raft. She had felt cold when she opened the door this morning, but now the heat from the sun was becoming unbearable. On the way back to the raft, she even spotted a wooden treasure chest floating by and naturally scooped it up. But in the short time it took, the sky above her head darkened in a flash. Whoa! Dark clouds are rolling in, and they have a reddish glow. Good thing I packed a poncho in my backpack. She instantly reeled in her fishing rod and quickly threw on her poncho. Faye Yardley, who had been rowing slowly with aching arms just moments before, was now paddling for dear life, wishing she could turn into an automatic rowing machine. A fierce wind kicked up out of nowhere. Luckily, Faye Yardley was truly blessed with good fortune. Her luck value off the charts. The fierce wind pushed her directly toward her raft. It was even faster than her own paddling. Of course, she didn't stop paddling, as she still needed to steer the small boat. Just as the gale was about to slam the small boat into the raft, the sky opened up and it began to pour. A loud drumming sound filled her ears. Although Faye Yardley was wearing a poncho, she hadn't expected hail. The chunks of ice pelted her, and it hurt. With a loud thump, the small boat collided with the raft. Faye Yardley struggled to her feet in the small boat and grabbed onto the wooden fence. The fierce wind nearly blew her off her feet. Fortunately, the side she had crashed into was the one with the awning. She tumbled over the side and onto the raft, finally out of the direct path of the hail. After a moment's thought, she turned and leaned over the wooden fence to store the small boat in her backpack. Her hair had long since been whipped into a wild mess by the wind, obscuring her vision. She plopped down on the raft's deck and scrambled toward the wall of the wooden house. Overhead, the hail rattled violently against the awning. After catching her breath against the wall, Faye Yardley simply scooted along the wall of the wooden house toward the corner. The wind howled for a while before letting up slightly. Faye Yardley seized the moment, stood up, and dashed around the corner into the hail. She grabbed the doorknob, but just as she was about to open the door, an even more violent gust of wind struck. If she hadn't been gripping the doorknob tightly, Faye Yardley would have been blown away. She clung to the doorknob, pressed against the door, getting pelted by a hailstone every now and then. Faye Yardley held on like this for nearly 5 minutes until the wind died down a little. She quickly opened the door, stumbled inside, and let out a huge sigh of relief. That was awful. Boo-hoo. That was just awful. After taking off the poncho and wiping the rain from her face, Faye Yardley went to the bathroom to rinse off first. She came out feeling clean and refreshed, but her body was covered in new bruises, and even her face hadn't been spared. Unfortunately, she didn't have any liniment or pain-relieving spray, so she'd just have to tough it out. She checked the time. It wasn't even 12 p.m. Faye Yardley lay down on the sofa. The snake meat from breakfast had been so rich in energy that she wasn't hungry yet. She took out a cup of original flavor milk tea and took a long sip before opening the public channel. Help! Help! How long is this hailstorm going to last? My wooden pavilion is drafty as hell, and I'm hiding under a lounge chair, but still can't dodge the hail getting in. My tent is holding up pretty well. I bought a fire pit, so the raging wind and hail outside are none of my concern. A fire pit? Damn, no wonder I couldn't get one. They're all getting instantly snatched up by people like you who stay in and don't even go out to fish for chests. Seriously, is a fire pit what we need right now? I'd say healing ointment is more important. What the fuck are you all babbling about? I've only got a turtle shell over my head. If it weren't for the 2-meter corner fences on my raft, I wouldn't just be taking a beating from the hail. I'd be swept away by this freakish wind. Damn, it's already noon on the 4th day. Don't tell me you're so pathetic you can't even scrape together enough wood for a tent. The hail is getting bigger. Everyone, I've listed a spare basic wooden house blueprint on the trading market. If you want to live, don't miss out. Faye Yardley watched the constantly scrolling messages on the public channel, feeling much more relaxed as she sipped her milk tea. Indeed, seeing how miserable others were made the bruises on her body seem less painful. Beep beep beep. A friend message notification sounded. Faye Yardley thought it was Zachary Pierce, but to her surprise, it was Bonnie Callahan. Bonnie Callahan. Miss Yardley, let's be blunt. I got a 30g bottle of medicinal spray for bruises and sprains from a treasure chest I fished up this morning. It should last for quite a few uses. If you have more than 1 pack of sanitary napkins, could you trade one to me? If I get more later and you need them, I'll give them to you first. Although Faye Yardley hadn't opened her own chests yet, she knew a small bottle of spray like that was quite valuable right now, and she did have some need for it, though not a lot. But Bonnie Callahan is the type to plan ahead and is willing to trade valuable things. She's really worthy of being someone I invited to my private group. Faye Yardley didn't hesitate. She directly sent a pack of sanitary napkins over via a red envelope. The other party quickly replied, "Thanks. If you ever need me for anything in the future, just say the word." Red envelope. After she claimed the red envelope, a small bottle of spray indeed appeared before her. But now that she had the item, Faye Yardley looked at the faint bruises on her body and decided against using it. They'll probably heal on their own in a little while anyway. This must be the rapid recovery ability that comes with increased constitution. No need to be so formal, Miss Callahan. What you traded me is just what I needed. Moi. Ju 3. Hashtag nervous face hashtag. A pleasant transaction, wasn't it? Clearly, Bonnie Callahan on the other end was in a very good mood too. A pack of sanitary napkins only contained 10 pads, but all she needed was to get through the first day of her period, which would likely start right after the protection period ended. Based on her body's usual cycle, the flow would be very light after that. She could just endure it, changing only 1 pad a day to get by. As for the few bruises she got from the unexpected hailstorm, she didn't care about them at all. She was someone who had read all sorts of apocalypse-type novels online, including a few survival game ones. Now that she was in one herself, it was natural to feel panicked, but she was more focused on protecting herself. She hoped to hold on until her parents could enter the game in 2 months. She was born after her parents' careers had stabilized and they had sought medical help everywhere, so they were old enough that they could only be in the second batch of players. Faye Yardley's eyes curved into a smile as she read the message. She was starting to like the girl on the other end. She doesn't try to take advantage of others. She's straightforward, and she works hard to get what she wants. How great! In reality, I should be a year older than her, but in the game, her age is 2 years older than mine. Unlike Bonnie Callahan, who was waiting for 2 months, Faye's only relative was her older brother. Her family situation here was similar to her real life. Her parents had died young, and after her brother inherited their estate, she had long since lost contact with her other relatives, according to her memories. So, her brother was her only family. Unfortunately, her brother wasn't in this District 101, and she had no idea where he was. I hope he'll show up during the first major cross-district event. Then I can use an item to contact him. After finishing her milk tea, Faye Yardley wanted to throw away the empty cup, but was struck by a headache when she thought of her large trash can. She had already placed it at the very edge of the raft. It won't get blown away by the wind, will it? There was no point worrying now. From the sounds outside, she could tell the wind, rain, and hail hadn't stopped. With nothing else to do, she first moved all the seafood she had caught and processed into her storage, if only for the storage's preservation function. Her backpack instantly cleared out by more than half. In a single morning, she had fished up 7 wooden treasure chests and 1 iron treasure box. This was likely more than what other people managed to get from dawn till dusk. After all, every time she looked at the public channel, she couldn't help but feel that those people were having a really, really tough time. Taking a deep breath, she took out an iron treasure box. Faye Yardley then clasped her hands together and began her ritual. Dearest System Daddy, please bless your incomparably cute and beautiful daughter with good stuff. If you do, I'll love you even more. She opened the iron treasure box. Acquired. Heat Pack Crafting Blueprint ×1. Guardian Sanitary Napkin Crafting Blueprint ×1. Talent. Double good luck triggered. All gains from this acquisition are tripled. Wah wah wah. System Daddy, I love you. She put the extra blueprints in the coffee table's built-in drawer, placed the 2 different blueprints on the tabletop, and then took a picture to send to Zachary Pierce. He didn't reply right away, but Faye wasn't in a hurry. She had something else to confirm. System Daddy, is it possible to sign partnership contracts with other players? Are these contracts protected by the system? As long as a player submits a contract through the trading market, pays the processing fee for a resource-based agreement, the contract will be supervised and protected by the system. Any party that fails to fulfill the contract will be punished by the system. That's great. Thank you, system, for clearing that up. Of these 2 blueprints, setting aside the heat packs for a moment, the market for sanitary napkins was absolutely huge. She had previously given the workshop blueprint to Zachary Pierce, and combined with these 2 new blueprints, it was practically guaranteed that the 2 of them would make a fortune. This was a project with long-term potential. She wasn't foolish enough to sell it off for a one-time low price. She planned to negotiate with Zachary Pierce and sign a contract to get a percentage of the profits. She was willing to take a smaller cut, even just 5% would be fine, but she had to have one. With such a great start, it was only natural to keep opening chests. Acquired. Wood ×25, oil ×10, cotton seeds ×10, strawberry seeds ×6, talent triggered, gains doubled. Acquired. Women's loungewear set ×1, cotton slippers ×1, talent triggered, gains doubled. Acquired. Celtis times 6, watermelon times 2, white roses times 10, spray roses times 10, talent triggered, gains doubled. Acquired, ream of A4 paper times 2, black gel pens times 6, the comic you want times 1, summer language dictionary times 1, talent triggered, gains doubled. Staring at the items from this chest, Faye Yardley wondered if she was seeing things. What's the use of this stuff here? The system couldn't possibly think I'm illiterate and sent me a dictionary to brush up. Could it? Shaking her head to dismiss the absurd thought, she continued opening chests. Acquired, bandage times 5, a pack of beer times 3, a box of cold medicine times 3, talent triggered, gains quadrupled. Acquired, wood times 30, stones times 15, liquor-filled chocolates times 10, non-bread times 5, talent triggered, gains doubled. Acquired, 1 cubic meter of soil times 1, planting pots times 3, rice seeds times 10, talent triggered, gains multiplied by 6. Whoa, a critical hit on the last one, and it's stuff for planting. This is awesome. Faye Yardley felt great about the things she got from this opening session. In fact, she wouldn't have felt bad no matter what she got. Just then, the beep 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 of a friend message notification sounded. Looking down at herself, Faye Yardley quickly threw on a set of loungewear before answering the video call. Zachary Pierce appeared on screen, his hair and face still beaded with water. "Sorry," he said. "I just got back to my raft and saw your message." "It's okay. Mr. Pierce, are you interested?" "Of course I am. You're not planning to sell this directly to me, are you?" Faye Yardley nodded eagerly. "Yep, I was thinking we could partner up and split the profits. I gave you a production workshop blueprint before, right? Were you able to build it? I figure fully automated production in the workshop would be much more efficient." "Almost. A level 4 raft doesn't have enough space for the production workshop. I'm planning to wait until I upgrade my raft to level 5 to try again." "Oh, right. I got a decent number of wood treasure boxes today. I'll open them for wood and settle up with you for that small wooden boat blueprint." "Sounds good. I'm planning on raising my raft level 2. By the way, you can sign contracts in the trading market. Once you pay a small fee, the contract is protected by the system." A warm smile spread across Zachary Pierce's face. "Okay, got it. Thanks for the tip, Yardley. That'll make it much safer to cooperate with other people." They chatted for a few more moments before ending the call. Faye Yardley felt like she'd had a great haul and wanted to collect some items that could increase her happiness value, like various intermediate and high-level furniture blueprints. She'd gotten a lot of roses, which she first stored in her warehouse to keep them fresh. But now she could go to the trading market and pick up a couple of vases first. It would be great to add a wardrobe, a vanity, and a desk to the room. That way, some things wouldn't need to be stored in the warehouse or my backpack. I could just put them where they belong in the house. I'm sure other people get things they don't necessarily need. We can all just trade. It's a win-win. Before, you had to shout out trades, try to figure out if people were being honest, and hope the other person was trustworthy. But now, the trading market changed everything. Even though it charged a small fee, at least both parties in a trade had the best possible protection. She had plenty of food and wasn't short on anything, but with nearly 1 million people out there, it was impossible that everyone was so well off, right? After all, she much preferred trading with food and water over other items. It was past midnight now. Faye Yardley didn't feel hungry, but a look at her system panel showed her satiety value had already dropped to 70. "Guess I'd better eat something." She took the half-eaten roast chicken from the small fridge in the kitchen and heated it up. She also fixed herself a bowl of sweet tofu pudding, then took out a watermelon and sliced it in half with her sharp dagger. After a moment's thought, she made 2 more cuts in one of the halves, dividing it into 4 equal pieces. She then sent them out in the group chat as a group red envelope, just enough for her 4 groupmates to get 1 piece each. As for her, she would eat the other half, scooping it out with a spoon. Pure bliss. With the nasty weather outside, everyone was indoors and paying attention to the group chat, so they spotted the red envelope right away. Bonnie Callahan. Thanks, boss. Ooh wow, it's watermelon. I haven't had this in forever. Mwah. Love ya, hon. Leo Sloan. Thanks, boss. Wade Warren. Thanks, boss. Zachary Pierce. Thanks, boss. Wade Warren. Hey, anyone buying dungeon fragments? Zachary Pierce. I am. Name your price. The two of them must have switched to private messages, as they said no more in the group chat. Bonnie Callahan. This watermelon is so good. Miss Yardley, you have the best luck. Here, let me send you a mantis shrimp to try. Designated red envelope. Leo Sloan. Delicious. Designated red envelope. Faye Yardley didn't expect to receive gifts in return. She was just sharing and hadn't thought about getting anything back. After a moment's thought, she posted a message in the group. Faye Yardley. The watermelon was just too big. I couldn't finish it myself. It would have been a waste, so it was a freebie. You don't have to give me anything in return. Leo Sloan. It's nothing special, just something extra I caught. Take it. Bonnie Callahan. Exactly. Seafood is nothing special these days, but watermelon? That's the real treasure. Now hurry up and accept them. Don't make us tell you twice. Faye Yardley, fine. Asterisk, caret, caret, asterisk. She accepted the red envelopes, receiving a large mantis shrimp as thick as her arm and a big, already roasted top-shell snail. She added the top-shell snail to her current meal and decided to save the mantis shrimp for dinner. Just as Faye Yardley was feeling completely stuffed, she received 2 more designated red envelopes. All right then, she thought. Looks like everyone in this group has some class. Wade Warren had given her 3 strawberries. Wow, strawberries, she thought. I haven't had these in ages either. You can't usually get them in the summer. She popped one right in her mouth. It was perfectly sweet and tart. Zachary Pierce gave her a honey peach. He definitely didn't find that in a box himself, Faye Yardley thought. I wonder who he traded with to get it. She was truly full by now, so she placed the honey peach and the 2 remaining strawberries on an empty plate on the coffee table. Maybe I'm just really lucky. I randomly picked a few people to fill the group, and they all turned out to be good people. Humans are social creatures. We need interaction, even if it's just online. Otherwise, being all alone, no matter how strong you are, over time you definitely start having psychological problems. Maybe I should look into picking a few more people to fill up this 10-person group. But that's not urgent. I can take my time with it. Fed and content. Faye could hear that the sound of the hail and fierce winds outside had started to die down. She didn't open the door to check, though. There was no need. She had no desire to challenge herself by going out in such nasty weather anyway. So, she started browsing the trading market, searching for any furniture and vases she could think of. It just went to show how varied everyone's luck was, and the variety of items that could come from treasure boxes was immense. She managed to trade for a celadon vase and a clear glass vase, 2 intermediate Tudor wardrobes in a natural wood finish, a basic single white armchair, a basic long writing desk, and she even snagged a swing chair. After she put all the clothes she'd acquired into the wardrobes, her storage warehouse felt noticeably emptier. Seeing 8 identical women's down jackets hanging in a row looked pretty impressive. She stored the 4 packs of A4 paper under the desk, against the wall. The pens and comic books went on top of the desk itself, which she had placed at the pass-through window between the bedroom and the living room. The armchair went between the desk and the bed. She set the celadon vase on the desk, arranging 5 white roses inside it. She put 3 spray roses in the glass vase and placed it on the coffee table. The swing chair went to the left of the entrance, near the fireplace and sofa. The little wooden house was starting to feel more and more like a home. With fresh flowers now inside, Faye Yardley could always smell the faint scent of roses. It helped her spirit relax, and it even seemed to increase her energy recovery speed. So, in this game world, fresh flowers were more than just decorations. I have a planter and soil, she thought. It would be great if I could grow flowers. The top-tier combat players would definitely want them. No matter what world you're in, if you want to live well, you can't do without money and assets. The most common currencies for trade, besides food and water, had been basic iron axes and torches. These resources had basically become a form of currency, with wood as the universal standard. Who would have thought that one day you could trade wood for anything in the world? She had only traded for a few things and decorated her place a bit, but somehow over an hour had already passed. It's almost 2 in the afternoon. Has the hailstorm outside ended? It's gotten a lot quieter. This time, she chose to sit on the swing chair and check the regional channel. The hail is just tiny pellets now. All you hardworking, brave souls, get out there and fish for treasure chests. Already on it. Feels like the treasure chest spawn rate is even higher than before. Braving the gales and hail, I've already fished up 2 more chests than usual. I call the guy above a true warrior. No way I'm going out now. I'll just wait. It won't be too late to go after the wind stops. Is anyone willing to do a private trade and sell me a bottle of water? I'm seriously dying of thirst. Dude, it's raining outside. Just tilt your head back, open your mouth, and catch some. You won't be thirsty anymore. Do not do that, you'll get diarrhea. And believe me, stripping naked, clinging to the wooden fence for dear life so the wind doesn't blow you away, and trying to take a dump with your ass hanging out is hard enough. What's even harder is when the F***king wind blows it right back at you. Ha ha ha. Dude, stop. I'm afraid if I open my mouth to laugh, your crap is gonna blow into my face. Thanks, man. You've convinced me that not drinking the rainwater was the right call. If that's the alternative, I'd rather die of thirst. Faye Yardley couldn't stop laughing. These people are something else. And he'd have to endure the merciless assault of the hail on top of all that. She didn't lack water herself, but selling it required containers, which she was too lazy to provide. If she had people provide their own, she'd have to wait around to receive the empty container, fill it, then trade it back. Just thinking about it was a hassle. She wanted to be a rich woman in this game world. Sure, but if it meant working herself to death, she'd rather pass. I have 27 bottles of mineral water. I'll list 7 of them, 1 trade per person, at 20 wood per bottle. That's not too greedy, right? Sigh, I'm just too kind. I can't bring myself to be ruthless. Just as she posted the trade, Zachary Pierce sent her a friend's red envelope. Accepting it gave her 300 wood. Faye Yardley thought that was quite generous. After all, even if you could sell a small wooden boat right now, nobody would be buying. And right now, wood was much more important. Got it. Thanks, Mr. Pierce. Let's see my total wood. Nice, it's over 1,000. But I need 2,000 wood to get to level 5. Still a ways to go. The 7 bottles of mineral water she had just listed were also snatched up in an instant. The buyers paid the transaction fee, of course, so it was all pure profit for her. If I want to upgrade my raft sooner, she thought, I need to find a way to get more wood. System. Switch to the regional channel. Faye Yardley. For iron blocks plus 10 wood for 1 basic iron axe. 3 oil plus 10 wood for 1 torch. I've listed them on the trade market. If you need one, just search for it. Orders will be filled chronologically. Selling 100 basic iron axes and 100 torches in total. Isn't the person above being a bit of a rip-off artist? You've practically doubled the material cost for a basic iron axe. To the guy above me. If you think Miss Yardley is ripping people off, then don't trade with her. She's just posting an ad. And you're calling her out? Why don't you go check the other prices on the market before you open your mouth? Goes without saying, her prices must be low. And now the other sellers are getting nervous. That's not a lot, though. Please add some more. Gorgeous Yardley. I mean, I get the torches for keeping warm at night, but what are the iron axes for? If you know, you know. If you have to ask, it just means you haven't gotten that far yet. Damn it, I hate people who talk in riddles. Screw it. I'm grabbing one now just in case. Faye Yardley hadn't expected the trades to go so smoothly. She had barely posted her one-line ad when, not 30 seconds later, everything was sold out. The transactions were all pending, of course, since she had received the materials but hadn't yet delivered the finished goods. For each torch, after accounting for the 2 wood in materials and the 1 wood transaction fee, she profited 7 wood. 100 torches would net her 700 wood. As for the basic iron axe, after deducting the 1 wood fee and 1 wood for materials, she made a whopping 8 wood in profit. Delivering 100 basic iron axes would earn her 800 wood. Combined with the 1,000 plus wood she already had, she instantly had enough to upgrade her raft to level 5. So she fed the materials for 100 torches into the workbench, started the crafting queue, and then called on the system to upgrade her raft. Raft upgrade, level 5, wood 2657/2000. Upgrade conditions met. Proceed with upgrade. Yes. Congratulations, player Faye Yardley. You are the first in the world to upgrade your raft to level 5. A server-wide announcement is imminent. Do you wish to remain anonymous? Yes, anonymous. World announcement. Congratulations to player XXX from Viridia for being the first to upgrade their raft to level 5. As a special reward, reputation plus 500, free attribute points plus 2. World announcement. Congratulations to player XXX from Viridia for being the first to upgrade their raft to level 5. As a special reward, reputation plus 500, free attribute points plus 2. World announcement. Congratulations to player XXX from Viridia for being the first to upgrade their raft to level 5. As a special reward, reputation plus 500, free attribute points plus 2. The gold-lettered announcement was pinned at the top of the chat and repeated 3 times, sending every player in the game into a frenzy. Even more infuriated were those who had hit the upgrade button just a second or two after Faye Yardley. Among them was Logan Langdon, who was in the same region. He had been certain he would be the first in their region to reach level 5, but someone had beaten him to it. What was really galling was that this time there was a world announcement and rewards. So why weren't there any world announcements for reaching levels 2, 3, or 4? There hadn't been any rewards at all. That was the only reason he hadn't been in a rush to upgrade his raft sooner. Now, all he wanted to know was who the hell had beaten him to it. Naturally, the regional channel exploded again. Faye Yardley chuckled to herself. Perfect. Even the people spamming her to deliver their items had quieted down. Crafting 100 torches would take about 15 minutes. She had time, so she decided to check her raft's new stats first. The level 5 raft was 250 square meters, a full 150 square meters larger than the level 4 version. Now she had to figure out how to arrange the new space. The raft could be molded into any shape she could imagine. Even a polygon or a perfect circle was possible. She didn't want to change the side with her original 10 by 10 structure and its awning. On the opposite side of that square, she attached a 10 by 15 rectangle, forming a rough T-shape. She rearranged the wooden fence to encompass the new layout. Once the wind and rain died down, she could place planters on the large rectangular section, giving her a dedicated farming area. Faye Yardley was in a particularly good mood, especially after an hour of completing all her pending trades. System, add both free attribute points to agility. I'm almost at full tier. System, show me my personal attributes. Name, Faye Yardley. Gender, female. Age, 19. Talent, double good luck. Constitution, 10. Strength, 10. Agility, 8 plus 2. The title of world's fastest human is all yours. Spirit, 9. Luck, 9 plus 2. Temporary increase from leaderboard. Charm, 8. Skills, none. Hunger level, 99. Max 100. You're so stuffed. Have you considered your stomach? Beep beep beep. A friend notification popped up. Zachary Pierce. Yardley? What percentage cut do you want for the 2 items? Faye Yardley thought for a moment. After providing the blueprints, she didn't want to manage anything. A completely hands-off approach. So, she said what she'd originally planned. How about a 10% cut for both combined? That's all. It's plenty. If you agree, Mr. Pierce, we can sign a contract and I'll give you the blueprints. After that, I'll just be reaping the rewards without lifting a finger, you know? Hold on. After those 2 words, the other side went silent. Faye Yardley raised an eyebrow. Did he really think I asked for too little? Is his sense of justice that strong? He doesn't even want to take an easy bargain. But to her it really was plenty. More importantly, she had identical blueprints. As long as she obtained another production workshop blueprint and an intelligent robot, she could set up her own production line, making her constantly monitor the workshop's production status and then post trades. Doing it once or twice was fine, but any more than that and she'd definitely find it annoying. Besides, it wasn't like this was an exclusive money-making opportunity. Didn't Logan Langdon have a blueprint for Love brand sanitary napkins? Moreover, the price of a mass-market female product like this definitely wouldn't be high. In any case, she believed Zachary Pierce's side wouldn't price it high at all. In truth, no matter how much or how little she earned, she couldn't lose. Her talent guaranteed she would never lack for food or drink in this game. She was the system's darling who could live well on luck alone. That's why she had to hold on to the #1 spot on the Raft leaderboard. Having experienced the wonderful feeling of an overflowing luck value, how could she bear to go back to just ordinary good luck? After some back and forth with Zachary Pierce, they reached a friendly consensus and signed a cooperation agreement. The contract stipulated that if either party independently obtained another blueprint for the Guardian sanitary napkin, they could set up a separate production workshop without being restricted by this agreement. She handed the blueprints for the hand warmers and sanitary napkins to Zachary Pierce, ticking another item off her list. Faye Yardley sent Zachary Pierce a pair of men's gloves and a dozen beers as a red envelope with the message, "A pleasure doing business with you, Nung Nung." The weather outside had cleared up, and it was still early. Faye Yardley pushed open the door and felt that the sky had become bluer and the air fresher than the past few days. Of course, that might have just been her imagination. But looking at her raft, which had grown significantly larger, a smile immediately appeared on her face. She looked around. Good, the large trash recycling bin was still standing firmly in its original spot. Just then, she noticed the L-shaped corner to her left where the raft expanded. She walked over to the extra space near the recycling bin and began placing planter boxes measuring 2 m long, 1 m wide, and 0.5 m high. Faye Yardley placed them in pairs, leaving a walkway in between for convenient planting and watering later on. She had originally intended to put them all down, but then she remembered the recent drop in temperature. She had even gotten a down jacket and padded winter clothes from a box opening, which meant a major cold snap was coming. Probably wasn't a good time for planting, at least not for now. So, she placed 8 planter boxes outside, making exactly 4 pairs. Thanks to her talent skill activating, the original 3 she had opened had turned into 18. She planned to place one inside her room later to see if she could grow anything indoors in the harsh environment. Then she'd put one on each side of the wooden house door, against the wall, to use for planting flowers in the future. What reassured Faye Yardley was that once these items were placed on the raft, they became as solid as if they had grown from it. She didn't have to worry about them being blown away by the wind or slowly being rocked into the sea by the waves. All right, I'll start fishing for treasure chests from this side now. She took the fishing rod from her backpack, cast the line, and began to wait for a catch. While she was fishing, Zachary Pierce also upgraded his raft to level 5, finally making enough space for the 100 square meter production workshop. Her fishing always yielded a catch. She never reeled in an empty line. This kind of experience would have made the fishing fanatics of her past life's eyes turn red with jealousy. As for now, she didn't know if anyone else genuinely enjoyed these days of non-stop fishing with no other leisure activities. Once Faye Yardley started fishing, she had very little free time to pay attention to anything else. So, for her, time flew by in the joy of her constant hauls. When she snapped back to reality, the sun was already beginning to set. Thanks to her increased constitution and strength, she didn't feel physically tired even after fishing for so long, but there was still mental fatigue. What a wonderful and interesting day. If anyone else heard Faye Yardley say that, they would probably be distorted with jealousy. After all, not everyone was as lucky as she was. Faye Yardley could say with absolute certainty that in District 101, no one had a higher luck value than her. Beep beep beep. Leo Sloan. Yardley, do you have a hemostatic pill or a bandage? I didn't get an iron treasure box this time, but I did get some pearls. Can I trade with those? Faye Yardley, sure. Mr. Sloan, you should take better care of yourself in the future. Don't get hurt so often. Leo Sloan, thanks. Red envelope. Faye Yardley didn't dawdle. She sent him one bandage and one hemostatic pill. He was a rare, good person to get along with, and she didn't want anything to happen to him. She took out the pearls from the red envelope. They were all perfectly round, about the size of a thumb, and there were 8 of them. Maybe when a jewelry-making merchant appears in the future, I can have them made into pearl accessories to wear. What about all that coral I scraped off the seabed? I completely forgot about it. She wasn't tired or hungry. What she needed now was to train her body. It would be best if someone could teach her combat techniques. She opened the group chat. For once, there were fewer than 99 new messages. Faye Yardley. Sorry to bother everyone, but does anyone know a good combat instructor they could recommend? Wade Warren. Admin. I know a Taoist who practices martial arts. I'm not sure if that's the kind of combat technique you're looking for, though. Zachary Pierce. I can teach you. Faye Yardley. Thanks, Mr. Pierce, but your time is precious. It would be better for me to spend some resources to find someone with more free time. Mr. Warren, could you please recommend the master to me first? Thank you. Wade Warren stared at the group chat message, a bitter taste in his mouth. Why was I so eager to jump in? It's obvious the admin and the big shot have a special relationship. And the one I mentioned is a young, handsome Taoist. Crap, the big shot isn't going to kill me, is he? Faye Yardley. Mr. Warren? Wade Warren, okay, just a moment. Let me talk to him first. An hour later, the group had a new member. Judging by his profile picture, he was a handsome young man with distinguished features. Faye Yardley. Everyone, please welcome Master Donovan. A huge thank you to Mr. Warren for the recommendation. Master Donovan is a really good teacher. Leo Sloan. Welcome, Donovan. Bonnie Callahan. Welcome, Donovan. Zachary Pierce and Wade Warren didn't say anything. Wade Warren currently felt a chill run down his spine. Did I really offend the big shot? Gavin Donovan. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me. Bonnie Callahan. So the young master talks just like us. I was expecting a different way of speaking. Gavin Donovan. Taoists are just ordinary people, too. Gavin Donovan sent a private thank you message to Wade Warren. He really felt his luck had turned. If not for my martial arts skills, I would have starved to death just from fishing for treasure chests. Wade Warren. Donovan. Just focus on teaching the group owner well. Don't get any other ideas. Gavin Donovan. Mr. Warren? What are you talking about? Wade Warren. It's nothing. Just remember to teach her well. Gavin Donovan. Of course. Yardley is my bread and butter now. Meanwhile, after Zachary Pierce finished a bit of work, he saw the group messages, smiled, and chimed in. Zachary Pierce. Welcome, Donovan. He then sent Faye Yardley a message. Zachary Pierce. Yardley? How about I test Donovan's skills for you to see if he's the real deal? Faye Yardley. Thanks, Mr. Pierce. Donovan already assessed my physical condition and planned a training regimen for me. We only trained for 20 minutes, but I feel like it was much more effective than when I was just practicing blindly on my own. Zachary Pierce. Good. Contact me right away if any problems come up. Faye Yardley. #nervousface If anything seems off, you'll be the first person I call, Mr. Pierce. As she had planned, she placed a planter on both the left and right sides of her door. This time, however, she filled them with soil. One planter held exactly 1 cubic meter of soil. She had 6 cubic meters of soil, which was enough to fill 6 planters. What should I plant outside? It's probably not the same as planting in the real world. This is a game world, after all. She had plenty of seeds. Currently, she had 5 types: bok choy seeds X3, alfalfa seeds X3, cotton seeds X20, strawberry seeds X12, and rice seeds X60. One planter can hold 5 seeds, so I'll first try planting 3 bok choy seeds, 2 strawberry seeds, and 5 cotton seeds. After planting the bok choy seeds, Faye Yardley received a system notification. Under normal circumstances, the bok choy will mature in 5 days. Normal? 5 days? This is all so systematic, so game-like. Next, she saw that the strawberry seeds would take 10 days to harvest, and the cotton seeds would take a whopping 20 days. It seems there's nothing else for me to do right now. After opening the door and going inside, she first took a shower and changed into some comfortable clothes. She took a cluster of orange-red coral, about the size of her 2 open palms, from her storage and placed it on her desk. It's so beautiful. It would be even better with a stand. After a moment of thought, Faye Yardley took a short video of the coral and sent it to the group chat. Faye Yardley, can anyone in the group make a stand for this coral? I'll pay accordingly. Bonnie Callahan. Wow, so pretty. Is this on the trading market? I want it, I want it, I want it. Faye Yardley thought for a moment, took a small piece that had broken off when she was handling it, and sent it directly to Bonnie Callahan using a targeted red envelope. Bonnie Callahan. Whoa, so it's from the group owner's private stash. Thank you for the gift, group owner. I really love this pink piece. Faye Yardley. I'm glad you like it. Gavin Donovan. I can do wood carving, but I don't have good carving knives, so it might not turn out particularly well. If you're not looking for high quality, I can carve a stand. Faye Yardley. I'm not picky. Just let me know what you need when you're done. Leo Sloan. Group owner, do you still have water for sale? Faye Yardley. You can give me your empty mineral water bottles first, and I'll fill them for you. Don't worry, the water I fill it with is also pure water, processed through my purifier. Leo Sloan. Thanks. Targeted red envelope. Gavin Donovan, group owner, I'll take 2 bottles as well. Targeted red envelope. Bonnie Callahan. Group owner, me too. 2 bottles please. Targeted red envelope. Wade Warren. You guys have no shame, do you? Group owner, I'll take 2 bottles as well. Targeted red envelope. Seeing the messages in the group, Faye Yardley suddenly felt her spirits lift. This lively atmosphere was just like being in a world at peace. She accepted each red envelope and lined up the empty bottles on the counter by the kitchen sink to avoid mixing them up. She just had to turn on the faucet and pure water would flow out, so it didn't take long to fill a bottle. After filling them all, she sent them back to each person in the group chat. After that, she stopped paying attention to the group chat and didn't even look at the public channel or the trading market. She was going to open her chests and reap some simple joy. Although she had only fished for 3 hours in the afternoon, she had still managed to catch 2 iron treasure boxes and 4 wooden treasure chests. System Daddy, your favorite daughter is now praying to you. Please let me get the best and most useful stuff. Obtained. Dungeon 1 Fragment X1. Dungeon 4 Fragment X1. Matcha Coffee X3. Talent Double Good Luck triggered. All rewards from this opening are doubled. Obtained. Dungeon 1 Fragment X1. Dungeon 3 Fragment X2. Towel X2. Wood X10. Talent triggered. Rewards doubled. Obtained. Dungeon 2 Fragment X1. Wood X10. Iron Block X10. Roasted Cold Noodles X5. Talent triggered. Rewards tripled. Obtained. Dungeon 6 Fragment X2. Dungeon 3 Fragment X2. Delicious Little Bread X10. Oil X5. Talent triggered. Rewards doubled. Obtained. Longbow X1. Blast Arrow X10. Outdoor Solar Lamp X1. Power Pill X5. Red Dates X10. Talent triggered. Rewards tripled. Obtained. Intermediate Spear making Blueprint X1. Basic Long Blade making Diagram X1. Automatic Faucet X1. Small Garbage Recycling Bin X1. Talent triggered. Rewards doubled. Staring at all her loot, Faye Yardley was a little stunned. Wait, isn't this haul a little strange? So many dungeon fragments. Is the system encouraging everyone to run dungeons? It's only the 4th day. Why the rush? Speaking of which, she still had an ordinary island entry order she hadn't used. Forget it. Islands are terrifying. Even though my attributes have improved, my combat skills are still rudimentary. I'll wait and use it after I've trained for a while. That's the only way to maximize the rewards. Faye Yardley told herself not to be impatient. My goal is to clear this game. It's not like it'll be over in a few days. Even though my luck value is high and my talent is luck-based, it doesn't mean I can just rest easy in this survival game. I can assemble the fragments for several dungeons now. I should pick one that allows teaming up and get some real combat experience. After all, I'm still not confident enough to clear a solo dungeon by myself.